Fanatic Best of Podcasts are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app.
B-Pod Studios.
The Mike Missinelli Show.
Turn your radios up. Mike's ready to rock.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, Mike Missinelli Show. General Knowledge Wednesday. So many issues that are still flaming hot that we need to talk about today. So let's start with the Philadelphia Phillies, whom I mocked yesterday for the 2.5-man lineup they put out there, and it didn't matter a whit. So I am firmly convinced, I alluded to God yesterday. I believe God is somewhere in that dugout. I believe he's taken over the body of somebody obscure, maybe like even an assistant trainer or something, but he's in there because there's no way you can convince me that lineup. And the pitcher faltered as well. And they wound up winning easily and smashing home runs all around and getting 4 hits from Matt Vierling, who hit the ball 5 times over 100 miles an hour bat speed, and Rafael Marchand, who can't hit home run in the minor leagues. He had a big home run there. And Andrew McCutcheon comes off the mat. It's like ridiculous. But they're winning games. When Hoskins came out of the lineup, everybody's like, well, they're a terrible team without Hoskins. And look what they're doing. That lineup, Bonifacio in there, Marchand in there, Vierling in there, and they continue to win. And now they're only 2.5 out of either a wild card or a division title. So at this point, I guess I should shut the hell up and say nada. I got nothing more to say about whether I think they're going to get in or not. That's my promise to you. How's that, Tyrone? You were warning me yesterday. Watch out for that Vierling.
I wasn't saying Vierling, but I said that they were going to score runs because of the catalyst. Bryce Harper with a couple hits, and McCutcheon, despite the batting average, has hit for power. And he hit for power again.
Yeah.
You keep putting dirt on him. You keep putting dirt on them. You can't put dirt on them. They keep getting resurrected.
I said they were 2.5 players they had in the lineup last night. It was the half that came through, but it wasn't the halves. It wasn't the holes. It was the others.
No, it was both. He got a home run. Harper got a couple hits too. It's not like everybody hit.
Come on, man. Vierling got 4 hits.
He had 4 hits. And Marchand is showing you that he's better than Nappy.
All right, well, listen. I'm out. As far as predicting what they're going to do, I can't tell at this point. I thought their goose was cooked. Hoskins got out of the lineup. I go, this lineup is so weak. I can't. All of a sudden, they won a bunch of games in a row. They score a lot of runs in a row. I mean, who can figure this? So there's that. And so I'm out. I know people were hammering me last night on Twitter. Oh, yeah, I knew you all knew that Vierling was going to get 4 hits. So. Right, apparently I was the only one that didn't know. All right, so we'll talk about that. But the Ben Simmons thing, it just grows and grows and grows. Now, here's the problem that I have. The problem that I have is that now there's this national narrative that is shifting towards fans that here are bad. It's our problem. It's the Sixers' problem. It's our problem. Like, we messed the situation up with Ben Simmons. Do I have to remind people? Like, I'm listening to this Chris Broussard. And he has a report out there that Ben Simmons will go to any team in America except the Sixers. He'll go to 29 other teams. Philadelphia is the only place he would not go. Now, you know what that does? That paints this narrative nationally with people that don't really know the inside, including Chris Broussard, by the way. It paints this narrative that we drive people away. We're so terrible that nobody can play here. Forgetting about the main factoid that this guy did not shoot a basketball for 3+ years that he was here. Did not shoot a basketball. This is now our fault. For criticizing a man that would not shoot a basketball, Philadelphia is now bad. And no athlete can survive here. Now, listen, there are times when our fans are unreasonable, just like every other fan in America. This ain't one of them. They back this guy all the way, Ben Simmons, including in the playoffs where they gave him a standing ovation of encouragement for him to make a free throw. There was a band of people out there that said we were being too hard on Ben Simmons. There was a head coach who enabled this guy to the point of he made everybody feel ridiculous for even asking the question about his shooting. Well, you guys make more a problem than we do. We don't care if he doesn't shoot. A flat lie just to cover up for this baby. And now the narrative has come back on us again that we're unreasonable. And this guy's out there in California, and he's fanning the flames for that through these little media sources. Oh, my God, it must be terrible. And even Embiid caught a little of it. Embiid was trying to troll yesterday. He says, well, Philly fans, you also got to be better. How? How do Philly fans have to be better when it comes to a guy like Ben Simmons? Tell me, what should we have done? Be satisfied with the fact that he didn't take a shot for 4 straight fourth quarters in the playoffs when they desperately needed him to avoid being upset by a lesser team? We have to be better. I am sick of it. I am flat sick of it. And I know, Tyrone, you are too, to the point where you said you would fight Ben Simmons right now.
Yeah, I'd lose the fight, but I do it. That's how angry I am. I'm not saying I'd win. I would lose. But yes, I'm at that point. Are you kidding me with this? Now, B's just wrong. He mentions not everybody's built for this. Well, that's the point, Joel. If everyone's not built for it, perhaps it's not us. What the heck did we do? All people did was cheer for Ben Simmons. Even I, going into Game 7, I thought for sure this man has some personal pride, and he's going to come out and be aggressive offensively. I was wrong, but even up to the last moment, despite the fact that he hadn't shot in the fourth quarter of the previous 3 games, I thought he would at least be aggressive in the Game 7. He chose not to be. Him and only him. This is 100% on Ben Simmons. It's not on the fans. It's not on the organization. It's not on Doc. And it's not on Embiid. Embiid wants to put, some of this is on. No. This is all. This is so simple. I don't know why we're making it difficult. The Ben Simmons issue was created by but one person, and that's solely Ben Simmons. And that's it.
Here's my question. Built for what? Built for what? What? Built for what? Us expecting to get performance? Is that what players aren't built for? You come to Philadelphia, you got one thing. Perform. If you perform, we don't wake up in the morning going, I feel like picking on a guy today. Because I'm a bad guy. I'm a bad fan. And I hate my players, and I'm just going to pick. Or is there an impetus for us to react a certain way? Like when a guy doesn't take a shot 4 straight fourth quarters and passes up a dunk because he's afraid to get fouled. That's my fault. I had too much expectations, damn it. I expected him to dunk there. That's too much. People aren't built. Athletes aren't built for that kind of scrutiny. Are you kidding me? No. I am sick of it. And usually I let it go. But I'm fighting against it today because I can't stand this narrative that's out there and that Chris Broussard's put out there. He'll go to 29 teams and not Philadelphia. And everybody says, well, Philadelphia must be a horrible place. It must be the gates of hell for athletes to go.
And here's the thing. People, whatever we think, they're like Embiid tweeted out, one idiot fan, he has called this show before. He's an idiot who called him fat and said to get rid. And that particular fan is a moron. But there's in every fan base, there's moronic fans. I deal with moronic fans on social media every minute. They're tweeting me right now saying that it's wrong, that I think it's unfair, that the fan base, all the fan base asked from Ben Simmons was either or. Either number one, shoot a basketball, or number two, if you're not going to shoot. First of all, we would never get to a number two with any other basketball player on the planet. But we even said, if you're not going to shoot, which think about that for a second. Think about that in the game of basketball, that we even gave a if you don't shoot. But we did.
We said if the replacement is as long as you're aggressive, right?
That's
he didn't do either of them.
He didn't do either. And the takeaway is not, wow, Ben really let you guys down. Wow, Ben Simmons.
It's being unfair.
How in the hell do we get here?
Because athletes foment that mentality, and he's doing that. He's the aggrieved child. Wow, man, if Ben's feeling that way, they must have really treated him harshly in Philadelphia. And these national people pick up on it because they don't live every day like we live it every day. And I'm just tired of it. Like, this situation is so clear-cut. You can't even put a semblance of unfairness in it with our reaction for a man who does not shoot a basketball, who was afraid to dunk a basketball in a key spot. Are you kidding? This is where I draw the line. There usually is like an opening. It's that people can get in where we were unfair because we did this. There's no unfairness in this principle as far as the fans are concerned, or the coaching staff who picked up for him every year, or Embiid, who they said MVP. Every time he stepped in the foul line, we all got to be better. Come on, man.
He's 100% wrong. And for everybody out there that says, yes, the fans play a part, and we will hear from those people, and I would like to hear from these people. What the heck could any of us have done to make him shoot a basketball? Because that's what this is about. It's not about all the talk or whatever. What it's about is you have a team in the playoffs who had to play 4 versus 5. Every time Atlanta brought a new bench player in, Lou Williams, whoever it is, that person shot the basketball. Not asking a whole lot. Gallinari shot the basketball. Even their scrub, Solomon Hill, he shoots the basketball. The Sixers always had a guy on the floor, because Ben Simmons plays 40-plus minutes, who doesn't shoot. What could a fan have done in Game 7 to make Ben Simmons shoot? If they have an answer for that, then by all means, the fans let it down. If the fans had a mechanism to make Ben Simmons shoot and the fans didn't use it, then the fans are wrong. Short of that, it's on Ben and only Ben. He's making $30+ million a year. We're asking him to play basketball. Oh, my God, that's so mean. He has to play basketball.
Here's what I want to say to the people who are thinking that the pro-Ben people who claim it's our fault. All right? You saw what happened, right? You saw what happened. You saw his post-game press conference where he kind of said something that he needed to improve, but he made sure to skate out of that by saying, but look what else I did. So his reaction to the criticism of him not taking a shot was to, first of all, slough it off and go party time in England, and then at this new house with his pool party, then pout and say, it's not my fault, it's their fault. It's your fault. It's your Uncle Louie's fault. It's Doc Rivers' fault. It's Daryl Morey's fault. It's the whole organization's fault. It's the vendor in the concourse's fault. Everybody but you. And that narrative gets out, these little dribs and drabs, these national people, and it's leaked out by the agency. Oh, my God, they're so unfair to Ben. He doesn't want to play. He'll play in 29 other teams, including Timbuktu, rather than come to Philadelphia, and we get the blame. It's astounding to me. The way that series ended, it's now our fault, and I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
Well, on the other side, Mike, I have apparently he's mad at Doc Rivers. You just mentioned it. I have the actual audio of what Doc Rivers actually said after the game.
All right.
And because that's apparently been a big bone of contention that Doc was mean to him.
Yeah.
Oh, Doc was so mean to him.
Same guy, Doc, who on this very program told me that they love what Ben does by not taking a shot and kicking it out for a three-pointer, right?
Yep.
Embarrassed himself live on the air to enable the kid. And it's Doc's fault.
And it's Doc's fault now. So it's everybody's fault except Ben Simmons.
610-632-0975 is how you get in. The Mike Missinelli Show. The General Knowledge Wednesday today. Okay. So General Knowledge Wednesday, we are playing for Fan Fest tickets. And we're also, oh my God, pair of tickets to see Guns N' Roses back together again. Hard Rock Live inside the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City. Sunday, September 12th. And a hotel room for the night. Oh, my God.
Nice.
A pair of tickets. That's the grand prize today. Our categories are general knowledge, Major League Baseball 500 Home Run Club in honor of Miggy, who just reached 500. Most singers viewed on Wikipedia, and famous tall people. There are your categories. The Mike Missinelli Show, 610-632-0975, back after this.
The Mike Missinelli Show.
DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving new customers $200 in free bets instantly when you bet $1 or more on any football game. And all customers can double their money as long as Tampa Bay doesn't lose by 74 points. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code FANATIC for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only, minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required, one per customer. Restrictions apply in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, it's 2 o'clock hour of the Mike Missinelli Show. We have plenty of activity guest-wise today. Jason Stark at 4, Tim McManus at 4:30. Don't forget tomorrow, the Charles Barkley annual co-hosting show. And we should just let people know that tomorrow's show, the Phillies now not playing tonight. They moved the game to tomorrow because of the storming. So the TV part of the Charles Barkley Show will be replayed in the evening tomorrow. We'll be exclusively on radio tomorrow, and it's such a
until after the game.
Until after the game. So you don't want to miss the Charles Barkley Show. So if you want to watch the game, do, but put us with the radio on, the new invention called radio, and we're on it. So the 2 o'clock hour is brought to us by Ferguson HVAC Line Conklin. Attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job is one of Ferguson's counter locations in Ben Salem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. Today, let's start our Twitter poll. That's brought to us by Paul B. Moyer and Sons. If you're looking for new outdoor power equipment, no better place to go than Paul B. Moyer and Sons in Doylestown. Good old-fashioned customer service. You can order online at paulbmoyer.com or give them a call. Tell them what you want. And you can pick it up yourself, contactless in Doylestown, PA. Jennifer Scordo, today's Twitter poll. Jen.
Well, this one's going to be fun today. Philly fans are being blamed once again for the failures of a player. So who is responsible for Ben Simmons' lack of offensive development? We have close to 500 votes already so far. 1% at Doc Rivers, 1% at Joel Embiid, 3% the fans, and 95% Ben Simmons himself.
All righty. Thank you very much.
I mean, no, seriously, Mike, you've been doing this a long time.
I've never stated like this. I really haven't.
It's the fans' fault. How?
Let me read this email from this guy. This guy annoys me, but he emails me a lot, and I get back to him. His name is Billy. Billy from the Ville. And he says, you killed me for this, the email I sent previously, but look now. I'm not saying Joel is right in what he said and saying what he did. But after a while, a man gets fed up continuously being beat over the head with a frying pan. Did we do that to Ben Simmons? Did we beat him over the head with a frying pan? The guy would take a shot in 4 straight foot quarters. Are you insane? Where's the beat over the head with a frying pan? I just can't stand it. I'm going to lose my freaking mind today. Beat over the head with a frying pan? This guy wouldn't take a shot. For the time he's been in a Sixer uniform, he wouldn't take a shot. And we let it go. We enabled it. Everybody but me. I said from the jump, it's ridiculous that the guy won't take a shot. So I guess that's unfair criticism when you don't actually take a shot and move your hands in a motion to take a shot. I can't take it. I swear to God.
This is the strangest thing in the world.
I swear to the God that's currently living in the Phillies dugout.
That same one. I still don't know, Mike. You've been doing this a long time, longer than me. I've been doing this for a while. You've been doing it longer. How would a fan in that Game 7 make him make foul shots or make him participate on offense in the fourth quarter?
We hit him over the head with a frying pan. Don't you know that?
What would we have to do as a fan to get a guy to shoot not to dunk a basketball at 6'10"? You know, the dream every night as a kid is to get taller and taller to hopefully get to 6'10" so you can play in the NBA so you can dunk. That's still my dream. I've grown in over 20 years, and every day I hope I wake up 6'10" so I can play in the league.
This narrative is not going to live while I'm here today. It's not. It is not going to live. It's a fungus now. It's in a petri dish, and I'm going to do my best to pour poison on it. It's not going to spread. Not while I'm here today. Go to AC Northeast Philly. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. AC.
Yo, what's going on, Mike?
What's up, AC?
A couple things to say. Number one, I think it was last week or the week before I called you about the Phillies. You got to relax. They were 5.5 out. I said schedule's going to dictate. Right now,
dude, stop it. Stop it. You looked at that lineup last night. Don't tell me that you thought that lineup was going to succeed. Don't give me this. I kept telling you about the Phillies. They got God in the dugout right now.
Mike, listen, calm down, relax. You're getting high-strung. You're that high-strung.
I'm high-strung. I'm a high-strung type of guy when there are causes that tweak me.
Me too, but listen. Listen, I'll get to Ben Simmons in a second. Seriously, it's the strength of schedule. This team's slop. The teams they played are slop. So you knew they're going to make it, come. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they're going to be hanging around to the end there because they play.
Okay, I told you I'm not saying anything anymore. They lost Hoskins. They're a terrible lineup without Hoskins. That terrible lineup last night scored 11 runs.
Right, they are.
I got nothing left to say, AC. 12, excuse me. 12 runs. That's right. Bamboo Brad came off the pine and hit a home run.
Well, you know what, Mike? About 3 months ago, you predicted this. Here's what you said. You said the Phillies are a streaky team. You said they'll win 5, lose 4, win 6, lose 4.
Yeah, but then Hoskins went out, and they're piecemealing this thing together. JT Realmuto can't even play. It's ridiculous what they're doing.
Yeah. But they're hanging around. God is on their side. Somebody is, anyway.
It's God.
Ben Simmons. All right. This guy, Ben Simmons, if I owned the team, I'd be like, Ben, we're not trading you, pal. Guess what? If you don't want to shoot and get better for yourself, then stay home. We'll pay you.
Yeah, but that's cutting off your nose to spite your face, AC.
He can tell. What's the?
Well, you're not going to win. You're not going to win and let Ben Simmons do that to you.
If you can't get.
You can't play spike game. You got customers. You can't play the spike game here.
Look, listen, you could still win and be.
What are you going to win? What are you winning with that team?
Oh, look, man, you're going to be in the playoffs.
Come on, man. They're the fifth best team. Without Simmons or a replacement, they're the fifth best team in that conference.
They should have beaten the Hawks with Ben Simmons. They would have,
Come on, man. Stop it. Yeah, let's play the spike game. Let's just let him sit down. We won't pay him. Good. What at the end of the day, what's that get you as the league resumes? What's that get you? You know what it gets you? You're going to be complaining that they're losing. That's what you're going to be doing.
Right. You got it.
That's why this is so horrible a situation. Because you can't just say, well, don't pay him.
Right. This isn't football. In football, you could do that. And you know what? They as a player, they do it every time. They tuck their tail and they come back. The NBA, the players run the league. So you can't just do that. In the NFL, he'd come back. This is not football. Zach Ertz doesn't want to be here. He's playing.
Listen, they may be forced to do that, but it's not going to be a happy situation for you, the customer. I got news for you.
No.
You take Ben Simmons out of the lineup, you're weaker. And you don't have a replacement for him? Just remove a starting piece who's like one of the top 3 players. Put him on the shelf. See how many games you win. Chuck, North Carolina. You're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Chuck.
Mikey,
what's up?
If I could come there right now and give you a hug, I would, my friend. I don't believe I've ever heard you this worked up.
Listen, there are times when I'll go, yeah, you know what? It's our fault. This ain't one of them.
Look, this is, look, and to be honest with you, and I'm not trying to say the Phillies, look how good the Braves team are, and we're barely in front of the Phillies. So look at it from my perspective. I have all the talent in the world, and they can't.
Yeah, but look at the Braves have had to play. They've got Giants, Dodgers back to back.
Yep,
it's a little more difficult.
I'm not saying the Phillies or anything, but I'm just saying it's been hard for me this year because I just thought we were going to be a lot better. But when Acuna went down, they've done better. So, but anyway, we're going to put the Braves to the side. This Ben Simmons guy, he reminds me of one of these kids that go to school. Reminds me of one of those 7th grade football players who just had all the talent in the world, and you knew that. I mean, they just don't care. They're just lazy. The dude's like, and then what's he going to do? The kid on the football team, he blames on everybody but himself. Everybody else is at fault, and that's just the new generation. Mm-hmm. But you took the money. We are expecting you to play. And, for the Chris Broussards of the world, why am I going to drive 8 hours to Philly and spend my money to come up and be with other fans if we're that bad? How come I see more Philly fans riding around with paraphernalia on their vehicles in my town than most teams? So don't go there sitting saying, oh, Philly this, Philly that, because Chris Broussard, you're wrong. In little tiny Elizabeth City, North Carolina, there's a lot of Philly fans here. So don't put that in there. I had a guy the other day say, yeah, you Philly fans in the Santa Claus. I looked at him and told him to F off. I'm like, dude, really? You're going to pull that? And he was a Cowboys fan. So Ben's got to go. Ben's got to go. I love Philly. Mike, air hug. Tyrone, air dap. Jen, air hug too. Get to see y'all in a few weeks. Mike, light them up today. Love y'all. Have a good day.
All right, Chucky. Listen, here's the biggest grievance that the man has. Now, mind you, this is after a playoff series where they lost to an under-talented team. Got upset. This is after a series where the guy did not take a shot for 4 straight fourth quarters and 4 straight games when they needed him to take a shot. This is a guy after he was afraid to dunk a basketball for fear of getting fouled from behind, for fear of having to go to the foul line and actually make a free throw in front of 20,000 people. And the biggest thing, the grievance that he has, is that after the game, the head coach, totally disappointed that he didn't win the series, says, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's run what Doc Rivers had to say after this game, and this is the biggest grievance that we get out of this today.
Doc, you think Ben Simmons can still be a point guard for a championship team like the one you guys want to become?
Yeah, David, I don't know that question or the answer to that right now. So I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that.
That was the question and the answer, by the way. That was full context.
Yes.
There's nothing out of context.
Right. So that's not exactly an endorsement, but you're talking about a coach who has been frustrated all year, as I tried to tell you, even though he tried to backdoor it and protect his player. All year long, that coaching staff was out of their minds that the guy wouldn't take a shot. Trust me when I tell you that. So in his frustration, he holds back. And the only thing he says is, I don't know that right now. That's the biggest take, right? That is the explosion that brought down the building. That comment. And it's now everybody else's fault. But the guy who actually caused the whole thing, caused his coach to say that because of his inefficient play. I live in a world that's ass backwards. I swear to God. Gray and Clayton, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Gray. What's up, Gray?
Hey, Mike, can
What's
you hear
up,
me?
man? I got you. You're on.
Yeah, it's Gary.
Gary, sorry. It says Gray up there. I kind of like Gray, though. Gray would have been nice.
Yeah.
Gray. Gray's a nice first name. But anyway, go ahead, Gary.
Mike, I've been watching Philadelphia sports since the mid-'70s. This Ben Simmons stuff, and then Joel Embiid to add to it.
Fans got to be better. We got to be better. We can't be disappointed. The guy doesn't take a shot. That's no disappointment at all.
It's an absolute disgrace. It's disgusting. It's so cowardly. Coward, disgusting, abominable cowards. Oh, it makes me want to just throw my guts up listening to this. The Philadelphia fans got to be better, JoJo.
Yeah, got to be better.
Simmons. Simmons is a gutless, cowardly brat. He is what he is. But for Joel Embiid to say the fans have got to be better, we're killing ourselves during this series. We're paying all this money. We're cheating for Embiid. We're cheating for the team. And we got to be better.
Yeah, I the Embiid thing. Like, I don't want to make this the Embiid comment that the linchpin. I am not going to move the blame off of number 25 here. Right? I know what Embiid said. I know what Doc said. This guy has now tried to create a narrative where it's going to be a blame on everybody else, and I'm not going with it. Sorry.
Well, Mike, here's the question: Will he be here when? Well, he may not show up, but is he still going to be on the roster when preseason camp starts?
I have no idea. I hope not.
What's your gut feeling?
No, he won't be on the roster.
He won't.
No, don't move him.
So would you move him even for a second-tier type guy?
No.
But what if you can't get what you want?
I stretch it out until I can move him.
Listen,
I stretch it out until I can move him. I can't do it for a second tier, but I'll stretch it out to the point where it'll be intolerable if the kid doesn't play for a month. And then you'll see things start to loosen up with Rich Paul getting in there. If he can tear himself away from Adele, maybe Rich Paul can make a deal.
But Mike, if you're a GM for another team, would you want him?
Yeah.
If you really did your homework?
Yeah. He's got the lure of skill. So when you have the lure of skill, somebody's going to want him.
He doesn't want any part of
the lure of skill, bro. He's got the lure of skill.
He doesn't want
you're You're giving these general managers in the league a lot of credit that they don't want the straight and narrow guys. They want guys with talent. They always want to crack the egg and let the yolk spill out.
I get that because some of these guys are more concerned about.
He's got value, believe me when I tell you. He's got value. Let me give you a general knowledge question. It's General Knowledge Wednesday. You're playing for FanFest tickets, and you're also playing for a chance at Guns N' Roses tickets.
Wow.
Here's the question. What fruit was known as Chinese gooseberry until New Zealand growers changed its name to increase sales?
Chinese.
It was known as Chinese gooseberry. You can find it in the grocery store very regularly. Changed its name. It's from New Zealand.
Cranberries?
No, man. No. Kiwi fruit. Kiwi fruit used to be known as Chinese gooseberry.
I knew that one.
That's a garbage name.
What, kiwi fruit?
No.
Oh, Chinese gooseberry?
Yeah, I'm not going to buy that.
Why not?
I don't know, but a kiwi, that sounds like I'm still not going to buy it, but...
It's possible that the plant itself came from China.
And then it just happened to grow well in New Zealand?
Yeah, somebody imported it.
Because aren't they called, who's called the kiwis?
People from New Zealand.
Yeah.
That's why they call it kiwi fruit.
But were they already called
when they brought it over, it was Chinese gooseberry.
No.
What?
Was the nickname before the fruit name?
No, they
or
changed
did the
it
fruit name make the nickname of the people? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying was kiwi
Chinese
always
gooseberry.
a word there? Like John is a word in Philly. So let's say we took a fruit and we named it to John fruit. John goes before the fruit. So I'm saying is kiwi before they named the kiwi, or because they named kiwi, did that become the nickname?
That's a good question. I'm not sure of the history of kiwi.
Okay. So,
what is the history of kiwi?
Well, here's a little bit. New Zealanders have been called kiwis since the nickname was bestowed by Australian soldiers in the First World War.
Okay.
Today, a lot of people are dedicated to prevent the kiwi from becoming extinct. There are 5 species of kiwis. There you go.
You know,
but
Chinese gooseberry came over. Somebody brought over a Marzano tomato or a grapevine from the old country and planted it here. You know, it's the old world and new world vines.
This is an actual bird. A kiwi is a bird.
What?
The kiwi bird.
So they're talking about the kiwi bird from being extinct.
Oh.
So there's a kiwi bird. So maybe
there's plenty of fruit.
There's plenty of fruit.
So the name kiwi went before the fruit.
So kiwis probably came because of the bird.
Yes, so it'd be like a John fruit if it was Philadelphia.
There you go.
Because that word.
I think that's what it is.
All right.
Yeah.
I was wondering. I don't know much about New Zealand.
On a very thin research basis right here.
Other than I would like to go at some point because I hear that it's very beautiful. Like in the mountains.
You get 27 hours.
Right. It's a long flight.
I'd have to be medicated. Doctors
for a day.
No, if you could knock me out for about 12 of the hours.
Yeah, I went to India. It was 22. I was in another 5 to get to New Zealand.
I got to be honest. Going to San Diego was a lot for me. The 5.5 hours.
Yeah.
That was 5. It was like 5.5. That's a lot for me.
We're spoiled.
It's a lot for me to like.
Your attention span is low.
That's okay.
All right, let's go to Gene in Doylestown. What's up, Gene?
Good afternoon, Michael.
Hello, Gene. How you doing?
I'm doing well. The Phillies. Mm-hmm. I can't help but to think, who cares? They're 2.5 games out. Who cares?
Well, you got to care. 2.5. They're right there. What do you mean, who cares?
It's just a matter of, the best or the worst, I guess. And
doesn't matter. They're in it. It doesn't matter who cares. You got to say, you can't say who cares.
Well, that's where I'm at. It's just because whatever happens after this is, it's just putting off the inevitable because they're not.
But it's all right. It's still, you get an extra week of excitement that they're in a playoff. They haven't been there in a long time.
I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's just putting off the inevitable for me.
Man,
I guess I've been a Philly.
Yeah, you're a miserable. That's what you are.
I definitely can be.
18 hits last night. That didn't entertain you? 18 hits?
Yeah.
Look at the sluggers they had in that lineup smacking the ball around last night.
Stop that.
They scored 12 runs and 18 hits, and Brooks Robinson didn't even contribute last night. Terray's in a 1 for 6 last night. The little utility of the darling.
It's against the team that has clearly given up. So when they start playing good baseball teams.
Well, they're not going to play very many good baseball teams. That's the point. It's going to come down to the Braves and the Phillies not playing very good baseball teams down the stretch. They both have easy schedules.
It's just, like I said, for me, it's just a matter of
bullpen performance last night. You kidding me? No run except for De Los Santos in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I got to admit, the bullpen has been nice. It's been nice watching them. They did a good job putting the back end of that bullpen
There
together.
you go. 3 1/3 that Matt Moore lasted last night. They didn't get through the rest of the game.
3 1/3. When you said yesterday, Mike, and I heard you say they're going to lose 5-4, and I put the game on, and it was 5-3.
Yeah,
I'm like,
they had to come back. The Nats scored early on them.
Early and often, yeah.
God.
But I have a point about Ben Simmons. I think he is a direct result of the participation trophy era. I mean, he's never been told he's done anything wrong. Nothing's ever been his fault. Everything's been, Ben, you're great. You're the best here. And now when it's blatantly obvious that he was the reason the Sixers lost to the Hawks, what's he do? He turns around and says, not me, it's you guys' fault.
You offended me. You offended me. I'm offended. How dare you? This Philadelphia thing, it's so hard to play there. What did I do? What did I do to deserve that? All right, so I didn't take a shot in 3 freaking years.
Yeah, well, I guess he felt bad because he didn't get his participation trophy.
Yeah, all right, man. Here's your general knowledge question. Major League Baseball 500 home run club.
Okay.
Miguel Cabrera just hit his 500th. In fact, he now has 501. Right above him at 504 is a switch hitter who played in the American League. Power hitting, switch hitter, first baseman. He played in the East Coast.
Played in the East Coast for the American League?
He played in the American League East. You're out. That would be Eddie Murray at 504. That's why I'm going to handle this category. I'll give you a lot of hints so you can get the dude.
Yeah, that was very gettable. Now that we're into September and FanFest is a mere 17 days away, there will be no more saves.
No more saves.
Too close to the event.
All right, so you got to earn it today. You got to earn it, and the categories are fairly easy. I got to be honest with you. So we'll take a quick break. This lasts just a couple minutes, and we're back after this.
The Mike Missinelli Show. .97.5 The Fanatic.
2:48. Mike Missinelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. All right, so the Phillies have gotten the dugout. The Sixers have the devil on the West Coast. And we're talking about both of them here on General Knowledge Wednesday. And again, let me reiterate, a good prize. First of all, if you get a question correctly, you will get a pair of tickets to FanFest, which is it's coming up soon. So this is maybe the last chance to get some tickets. And also, you'll qualify to get a pair of tickets to see Guns N' Roses at Hard Rock Live inside Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Atlantic City, Sunday, September 12th. You also get a hotel room for the night. Info at hardrockhotelatlanticcity.com. I was just watching a Reels special on Guns N' Roses breaking up the band.
What?
Breaking the band.
What?
Yeah, so now they're back. They're getting together again. They've decided to.
Well, they have been for the last couple years.
Have?
They've toured, yeah.
Yeah, they've been back. But, Axl was a real rock star.
Yeah.
But now, at least he's going to show up to the show on time.
Well, yeah, I was going to say he's a real J.O. too, or he was.
He was. But see, if you see this breaking the band thing, he got sober and those guys wouldn't. And it was like
But what bothers me
10 years ago?
He acts like a jerk for all those years. Then he gets it together, and all of a sudden, he's got to tell. Like, he caused in Philadelphia a full-scale riot.
Yeah.
All he had to do was go on stage after Metallica had the issue, and instead he acts a fool and causes a full riot.
Yeah.
Him. But now, by all means, let's blame Slash now.
Well,
come on,
Slash and Duff and the other.
That's what I'm saying. Blame it. Come on, Axl.
They all ended up leaving.
Have you ever seen them?
No. No, I'm not a Guns guy.
Okay. I'm a Guns gal.
I like some Guns.
How are you not a fan?
It's not like I'm not a fan. It's just that I wouldn't go see them.
Okay, so a couple years ago, when they first started to come back, I went and saw them. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be Axl Rose. He has not aged all that well. Uh-huh. How is this going to sound? How are they going to sound? They were on point. I enjoyed myself the entire evening.
Well,
it was
I'm sure.
really fun.
I'm sure when things are going well, they're a great performing band. I actually did not see Guns N' Roses, but I saw Slash. I saw Slash at the Electric Factory.
Just by himself?
Yeah,
or wasn't he with
he and his band?
Velvet Revolver?
He put together a band. It wasn't Velvet Revolver. It was
I know what you're talking about. I remember that era. You need them. But I feel like at the time, Axl Rose, behind my guy, Scott Weiland, he's right up there as a real
he's a good frontman.
Frontman, perhaps. He's top 3 to me.
Might be the best.
Scott Weiland's the best, but outside of him.
Can you figure this Scott Weiland affection this dude has for Scott Weiland?
I think he's the greatest
for a couple of years.
I believe he's the greatest frontman. If I think rock frontman, I think him above anyone else.
As a
frontman.
Well, he's got Scott Weiland's the greatest frontman ever, and he's got Queens of the Stone Age is the best band ever.
Yeah.
There's very peculiar things come out of Tyrone's mouth sometimes.
Well, I mean, everybody's opinions are their own, and there's no incorrect opinion.
Yeah. I'm saying,
but I don't know that Scott Weiland is the greatest frontman ever.
I mean, he's fantastic as a frontman.
He is fantastic. I don't know if it's greatest ever.
I think he is a frontman. He's just my favorite.
And that's okay.
Well, Queens of the Stone Age.
Something that touches you about Scott Weiland. Can I tell you?
Yeah. Now, Queens of the Stone Age, I have no movement on that one. But I could be talked out of Scott Weiland. Queens of the Stone Age, I couldn't be talked out of it.
Yeah, all right. All right, let's go with Andre in West Philly. Andre, what's up?
What's going on, Mike?
How you doing?
And Jen, how y'all doing today?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, man, this sucker, boy. I'm telling you. So, big for Embiid, this is for Embiid. I feel as though he made that comment because he just trying to stop the bleeding. You see his little brother getting punched on, and he just trying, the
little brother, he can't stand the guy.
Yeah.
His little brother. What are you talking about? If he would tell the truth, he would say, "Yeah, I want his ass out of here. He's been holding us down for 2 years."
Listen. He's taking a beating, and as a big brother, he just trying to step in and try to calm this storm. Me, I don't agree with nothing. But that's my big dog.
That's like Kane sticking up for Abel here, brother. Come on.
Embiid is my big dog. I ain't even going to trip on him. But Ben got some nerve. So now it's our fault. Why do Philadelphia fans got to get a bad rep about you ask players like Brian Dawkins. You can ask Ricky Waters. You can ask AI. You can ask anybody that was successful here. They loved us. Even with the little labels we come with, they loved us. It's always the chumps that got a problem with Philadelphia. Always. The softest guy. This guy softer than duck poop. I really wish this guy get traded, man. I hope we get De'Aaron Fox. That's what I'm hoping for. If we don't, and we get a bag of...
we'll see what happens, bro. You hold on to your horses. Let me give you a general knowledge question. You ready?
Go ahead,
here we go. Most viewed singers on Wikipedia. The top 3. Give me 2 of the top 3 most viewed singers on Wikipedia.
Beyonce.
I'll give you Beyonce. One of your answers. Who else? You gotta give me 2.
Nicki Minaj. Wikipedia. I'll go Nicki Minaj.
That's it. Correct. You're wrong on both counts. I think I'll save that question.
I think Booney has the actual answer.
Booney has the actual answer? What did Booney have?
No. Well, you said you're going to save it.
We'll save it?
Yeah, save it.
Okay, you tell me during the break, and I'll tell you whether he had it correct.
All right.
Or not. One of them, by the way, 2 are male, 1's female.
Oh, no, he didn't get
top 3.
He didn't get it right.
All right, 610-622-0975, 3 o'clock hour, straight up.
The Mike Missinelli Show. .97.5 The Fanatic.
It's the 3 o'clock hour of the Mike Missinelli Show. A lot to talk about today. Jason Starr coming our way at 4 o'clock to talk some Phillies. Tim McManus at 4:30 talk some Eagles. 3 o'clock hour brought to us by Corpolis Bakery and Deli. World famous tomato pie, hoagie party trays. Every bit as good. Ben Simmons thing is always an active conversation. It's active today because there are some people out there who buy into this ridiculous narrative that we did it. We caused this situation. Not the player, not the guy that didn't shoot a basketball It's us. Here we go again. Chris Broussard puts it down. Out of 29 teams that he would play for, only one play in Philadelphia. So he would play. He'd be willing to play for the dreckest league in the dreckest cities in this country, rather than play here in Philadelphia. So we must really be bad. And I call bull feathers to that. All right? I am not standing for that narrative today. There are some things that we do that may be out of line. This is not one of them because we didn't do anything. The fans did nothing. Doc Rivers, frankly, did nothing. This coach could have hammered this guy all year long. He didn't. And all he said was some innocuous little thing that expressed his disappointment that they got eliminated by the Atlanta Hawks. And now the player is using that as the, oh, my God, I'm so offended. I am not going to live in this world today, man. I am not living in that kind of world.
I don't blame you. I appreciate you backing the fans because, I mean, they're getting a raw deal here now. There was a report yesterday that Rich Paul was going to try to snatch Maxey out of the city in addition to Ben Simmons. Mm-hmm. Maxey, apparently, to his credit to that young man, and it shouldn't be surprised because he's a young man who actually was aggressive. He took, Maxey in way less minutes took more shots than Ben Simmons did in that 7-game series, by the way. Maxey took more shots than Ben Simmons in that series, by the way. He put his foot down, and he told Rich Paul that he is excited to be in Philadelphia, and Rich Paul has relented. And it's no longer a package deal where all clutch clients have to be gone.
That's a bad agent that does that. It really is. Listen, Rich Paul is new to the agency thing, and I get it, and he's got a lot of leverage right now. But come on, man. You have to throw one of your clients. It's not best for your client, what you said. It's ridiculous. In fact, and I was reading, I guess it was Derek Bodner wrote the story. He said, that player may think about switching to another agent. If the guy doesn't have the player's best interest at heart, he wants to play some little 14-year-old tit for tat game. Right, what he was doing.
Right, and you got to look at Maxey. Maxey's looking at it as an opportunity because he's thinking, well, if they got to trade Ben, maybe if they get Dame, they get Dame. But if they don't get Dame and they get another, let's say they get Beal. Not the Beal's available. Let's just say they got Beal. Now who's your starting point guard? Maxey. That's how the player's looking at it. Mm-hmm. So you'll be doing your client a disservice. Mm-hmm. Because now it could be Beal at the 2, Curry coming off the bench, and Maxey's your starting point guard in that scenario. So why would you want him out of Philadelphia if he could possibly start in Philadelphia? It makes no sense.
Ben's going to take you down the well, too, Rich.
Oh,
watch out.
And the Nerlens thing, did you see the update on that? Apparently the lawsuit is not about the Dallas situation where they blew money. Apparently the year that they got Horford, Brett Brown and Elton Brand tried to get Nerlens to a contract, and Rich Paul apparently did not mention it to Nerlens.
Yeah, that's a breach of fiduciary duty and negligence, which is definitely a grounds for a lawsuit.
So right there, and if that's the case, if that's true, then Rich Paul should be suspended. He should not be allowed to be an agent for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, there's actually a case on the books. I used to teach in sports a lot. Dealt exactly with that situation. It was like way back in the day situation. About Billy Sims.
Really?
Yeah, remember Billy Sims? Yeah, he was going to jump to the USFL because the agent had, unbeknownst to everybody, had a financial interest in the Houston Gamblers or something. And meanwhile, the Detroit Lions made an offer to keep him, and the agent didn't tell him about it.
It's no good.
No.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah, so to not tell, and he basically calls Nerlens. Nerlens is trying to be made whole. He's just suing for the difference between the contract he signed and the contract that apparently Elton Brand offered to Rich Paul that Rich Paul never offered to Nerlens.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And is that a thing where an agent could be suspended?
Yeah,
for something like that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Could they lose their license?
Yeah, they can be suspended by the league, but they also lose a ton in the civil suit.
Right.
Tina in Harrisburg, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Tina.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Tina.
I have been a pretty long time listener, and this is the first time I ever got through. I had a comment about Ben Simmons. I'm sort of conflicted. First of all, I agree. Ben Simmons is responsible for Ben Simmons, and his failure to shoot should be on him. Mm-hmm. But I also agree with Doyle, or Gene from Doylestown, that everybody gets a trophy has contributed to this new generational thinking that they don't take responsibility because there are no consequences. If I were a GM, you get all your money on the back end, not up front. So you have to actually continuously prove yourself to get that large amount of money.
Yeah, you can't.
But where my conflict is, from listening to your show and my friends in Philadelphia, and I lived in Philadelphia for a while, although I'm from Harrisburg. I went to F&M when the Sixers had training camp there, so I saw coaches dig into, from Dr. J to Mo Cheeks to Andrew Toney, whomever was not doing what they were supposed to do in games in practice, because the theory was what you do in practice transfers to a game.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, though, with all of that said, if Philadelphia, and it's been pretty clear, and I don't think all of it was just venting, Ben is not wanted there, then he should want to leave. And if it can be severed with whatever grace is left, then I'm for that. It's like, because if I'm not wanted, then I don't want to be.
Well, explain how he's not wanted.
Well, everyone has said if he comes back, he's going to be booed, and he's not going to be able to handle that.
Yeah, but what is his responsibility in the whole thing on causing boo?
His responsibility wasn't. I feel he had the responsibility as a player and taking the paycheck. However, there was no consequence to him for not doing that, like you said, not just last year during the playoffs.
Well, they enabled
but for
him.
several years.
They enabled
exactly.
him. So how is it now that we didn't want him?
I didn't say you didn't want them. I'm saying that from what I understand from the Philadelphia people, that my friends in Philadelphia, and from commenters on your show, and even comment that he's no longer, that he can't come back. If he comes back, it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So
unless he comes back, it would be a nightmare. Unless he transforms himself into the player that he should be.
But how long? Well, like you said, the first time. Okay, like. The first 5 games.
Yeah, but it's within his control.
Let me finish.
Tina?
Yes. The first 5 games he might shoot. And then if he has one off game, which everybody can, and once the Boo Birds start,
I get it, but Tina, you're missing the point. He can disable the Boo Birds by playing or being a regular basketball player. Like, what is his responsibility? I appreciate the call, but like, I only go so far with this. Well, if he's not wanted because he doesn't do a certain thing, which is within his control to transform himself into doing that certain thing to the point where, guess what? He wouldn't be not wanted. It's really simple. I don't see any Ben Simmons side here. It's what he has done that has caused this whole domino effect. I'm out of the sympathy business for this dude.
It's almost like he would need to be like a little bit like a Pinocchio situation where like he gets turned into like a real boy. If he came back as a real basketball, like a real functional basketballer, which means that occasionally when you're open, you shoot. And I don't want to hear that if he had a bad game. If he shot the basketball, if he came back as an actual basketball player on offense, not this mess that we've seen the last several years, an actual offensive player, no one would boo. And if he went 8 for 24, you know what everybody would talk about? Wow, Ben shot the ball 24 times. He has it the easiest still. He doesn't even have to make a shot still. All anyone asked him to do was just be an actual basketball player. That is not mean. Oh, my God, Philadelphia asked him to be like, what other player would we say, oh, my goodness, why isn't he shooting? We wouldn't say that about anybody else. We're only saying it because it's him.
Wait, listen, Tina, if you're listening, he killed this team. Like, there's no other way around it. In the playoffs, he killed this team against the Atlanta Hawks. If he had taken responsibility for his part in killing this team by saying, you know what, I got a lot of things to work on, including the mental side of this game, and I'm going to come back and be a better player than ever. Had he done that, do you think he would be unwanted? What did he do? He got his hand under his chin, and he went, and he went to Wimbledon, and he bought a $17.6 million house, and he posted videos of his pool party, and like he says, it's your fault, not me. Look at me, my life goes on. What did I do? That's the reason why he's not wanted. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
And honestly, the both of you have said it before. I don't even think he needed to go that far and say that much. Just come out and say, I'm going to do better next time.
Yeah.
That's it. And the whole city still would have been behind him, I think.
What Trey do? Oh, he had a tough night. You know, I'm not going to let you say I'm different in the playoffs. Why not? You shot in the fourth quarter in the regular season. You dunked the ball in the fourth quarter of the regular season.
If I wasn't wanted, I wouldn't want to be here. He made himself unwanted. Where is his? I'm tired. He doesn't bear any responsibility, according to some people. I'm fighting against this 100-foot wave right now.
This is a marriage where one spouse cheats on the other spouse. And when the spouse that was cheated on files for divorce, the spouse that cheated goes, oh, look at you. Leave it just because I cheated. You're the one that was wrong. He's the one who was wrong here. It's not literally he's acting like he was the aggrieved party, not the fans. The fans had on Father's Day. I remember we were talking about if they were going to lose that Friday night. Then they win Friday, that Game 6 in Atlanta, bring everybody back, get everybody's hopes back up. It's Father's Day. Mm-hmm. I had to leave my father because I had to work. I would have rather watched the game, but a bunch of people watching the games with their fathers on Father's Day. And he doesn't shoot in the fourth quarter and ruins Father's Day. He incinerated Father's Day. And we're supposed to just go, it's our fault. He ruined Father's Day, not us.
Yeah. Well. That's the way it goes. All right, so the NBA has just announced that unvaccinated players can't enter facilities in markets that require vaccination. New York, San Francisco, biggest examples.
Yeah, so that's both road and home teams. So obviously that would mean Knicks, Nets, Warriors players would all have to be vaccinated in order to enter their arenas. But that means if you're not vaccinated, and let's say you're allowed to play in San Antonio or Houston or a bunch of other places, if you went to play the Knicks, if you're not vaccinated and that place requires proof of vaccination, you can't enter the facility, therefore you can't play in that game. So that would be the Knicks, Nets, and Warriors.
Get the vaccination and life can go on here. And Urban Meyer he says it was a factor in him cutting down. That's why the question was asked to Howie yesterday.
Mm-hmm. And
by Rob Motti, I believe, asked that question.
It was, and it was asked to Belichick. And Belichick says Belichick had to give the answer that he gave because Meyer just got in trouble. Mm-hmm. But my issue
Cam wasn't vaccinated.
Huh?
Cam wasn't vaccinated.
Right. He says, vaccinations not the be-all, end-all. This is what, but he has to say that because now they're going to come down on Urban Meyer. But there are people criticizing Urban Meyer for being honest, and I have a problem with that. It's because all we ask all the time is for players and coaches to tell us the truth. Mm-hmm. Then one does. I'm saying the league can go after them however they want. I'm talking about media members and fans should be thankful that Urban Meyer was honest because that's what we claim we want.
You know, the Red Sox pulled a guy off the field last night. Now, they're reeling. They're trying to make the playoffs, right? They've got 9 people that now unvaccinated now have symptoms of COVID. Now, what does that do to their fan base?
It crushes them in September now.
It crushes their fan base. Just get the vaccine. Well, Mike, you can't put your no, I'm just saying, like, if you don't have a medical reason or religious reason, what is the harm?
Yeah, so I'm very interested because there was rumors that players like LeBron James weren't vaccinated, but we're going to find out now because if LeBron all of a sudden can't play in any road game against the Knicks, Nets, or Warriors, we'll know why. Because you're not allowed in the facility because that's the rule. So the NBA is basically saying we're going to follow local rules, and New York and San Francisco, where the Warriors plays, have made that rule. Philadelphia looks like it might be inching towards that, but it's not there yet, so he could play on the road here. But that's where it's looking.
Yeah.
That's where it's headed.
All right, let's go to North Carolina. Matt's down there. Matt, you're on 97.5 Fanatic.
Hey, how you guys? Mikey, your hanger is on display today. Ty, you got to pick up your hanger game.
He's angry enough. He wants to fight Ben.
I would lose, but I would.
Tyrone wants to fight him.
You know, there's no if Ben comes back. Just to get out of the way real quick on our previous caller. Mm-hmm. There's no if. Can you imagine if he said I'm going to shoot more, steps on the court during introductions and gets booed, well deserved? What he's going to do? He's just going to be spiteful. He's not going to jack up the ball.
Well, yeah, listen, this ship has sailed. There's no way he can come back. But my point is, I'm just answering her. She was saying, well, if I wouldn't want to come back if I was unwanted. You're missing the point. Why is he unwanted? Let's attack the root of the situation.
But the real reason I'm calling is we talk about Dame. What's going on in his camp? Why hasn't he come out and said, I want out of here? I mean, Portland's got no shot of even competing in the West. You know,
he's got very serious geographical ties there. He wants to make sure that he exhausts all those avenues before he says that. He seems like a good guy, and he doesn't want to let down the city. But, he's going to have to come to grips with it if he wants to win something in his career.
And just put it out there at some point. I mean, if he's not going to come to Philly, let's put this whole I want Dame thing. I know Ty's a big Dame guy. I'd like to see him here, too. But if it's not going to happen, let's talk about, real possibilities of what's
what's the harm of talking about it? What's the harm of talking about it? We can talk about it. It's fun to talk about. Why would we not talk about it?
But it gets me excited. And
well, that's your problem. I'm going to continue to talk about it because it happens to be the A answer. I'm not going to not talk about it. Yeah, I want him here, and I hope public pressure gets applied to the point where he would consider coming here.
Well, let's get his agent on the forefront.
I don't think I can talk his agent into doing it, but Dame has to do it. All right, listen, Matt. I got tickets to FanFest. I don't know if you can come up here. Can you?
If there's a Primo's hoagie to be had, I'm coming up.
All right. Well, in that case, here's your question. All you have to do is answer correctly. You'll also qualify for the Guns N' Roses concert. All right. These are famous tall people. Wrestling legend who starred in The Princess Bride. He was 7 feet tall. That is correct. Andre the Giant is correct. 7 feet tall for Andre.
One of the best movies of all time.
Yeah, I really do.
Everybody loves The Princess Bride.
You don't like
Everybody loves it.
Come on.
I liked it. There's too many.
No love, just like.
There's too many quotes that,
But isn't
people overuse.
Is that what you love? That is your whole character, Mike.
It's the one quote.
Which one? There's so many.
Prepare to die. That prepare to die quote. I hear it too much now.
Come on.
You heard it too much.
I hear it too much.
Nah.
Come on, man.
What is the whole quote? My name is Rodrigo, whatever.
I don't remember.
Prepare to die. Really? What is it,
You
Jen?
killed my father. I have 5.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it?
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Yes.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Right.
That one. And there's something in there with 5 fingers.
Correct.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but
I always go to the Anybody Want a Peanut? That's my first Princess Bride line.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of lines.
Yeah.
That's why you don't like a movie, though, because of the lines?
I like the movie.
True.
I'm not saying I like the movie. It's like, the lines for the how good the movie was, the quotes are overused.
Okay.
I'm a big Robin Wright fan. Huge Robin Wright fan.
All right, well.
Yeah. And
I'm
Manny
confused.
Patinkin, I'm a fan of.
He's awesome.
And what about
Billy Crystal was good in it.
Yeah, Andre was good for what his role was.
Yeah, it was good, really good.
Although apparently his back was real bad during the movie. He had surgery, yeah. Where he catches her out of the balcony, they had to string her up because he couldn't catch her because his back was so bad. And then he got surgery, and then he had to match with Hogan, where he got body slammed. That was all. Yeah, he had to get the surgery on the back. Back was bad.
All right, the most famous line, there's actually 2 lines that are more famous than the...
Have fun storming the castle?
No, it's like never get involved in a land war in Asia.
I never said that.
And then never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line.
I mean, isn't that great for you? Don't you love it?
Yeah, that should move you. That should move you.
Yeah, but the Rodrigo line is the one that's overused.
Rodrigo?
Well, the one you just said, Indigo Montoya. The Indigo Montoya.
Yes, you killed my father. Prepare to die. Yeah.
I hear that a lot. But that's it. Listen, you put me into a corner here. I like the movie. All right. It's not one of my favorites, but I like it.
But your reasoning behind
it. It's a pleasant watch.
But your reasoning doesn't make any sense with your character.
I think it's overliked.
You keep spiraling, Mike. You keep spiraling.
You're going by the end of the show, you're going to hate the movie.
Hate it, right.
It's overliked.
Okay.
And sometimes an overliked movie it's annoying.
Yeah.
People always overlike it. You feel the same way.
Yes, and that's my issue with Taylor Swift, for example. She's overloved for what the music actually is. If you just told me it was like cute little music, I'd go, oh, fine. She's the greatest artist of her generation.
Right.
What? And that makes me think, I'm out on her.
That's exactly.
I got it.
All right, 610-632-0975. Right back.
The Mike Missinelli Show. .97.5 The Fanatic.
3:30, Mike Missinelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, ABC Sports Philly. It's General Knowledge Wednesday today. It's also an update on our Twitter poll time. which is brought to us by Paul B. Moyer and Sons with Jennifer Scorda. Jen, what do we have?
All right, Philly fans are being blamed once again for the failures of a player who is responsible for Ben Simmons' lack of offensive development. You have 4 choices: Joel Embiid, Doc Rivers, the fans, or Ben Simmons himself. Well over 2,000 votes, and Joel Embiid gets 1%, Doc Rivers 2%, 3% for the fans, and 94% for Ben Simmons himself.
94%, Ben.
Yeah.
94. Yeah. I think it's our fault. Yeah, we didn't appreciate him. Just like we do every other athlete here, that we run them out of town and they go elsewhere to become stars. We're terrible. We're terrible people. We actually want a guy to take a shot. I got to talk to this fan base. Our expectations are way too high. We asked the basketball player to take a shot.
Imagine if Jalen Hurts goes to drop back against Atlanta and guys are open. And he just holds the ball and he runs sometimes. And he's a great leader, but he won't throw the ball. Are we allowed to say, "Hey, Jalen, please throw the"? Would that be mean if we were to say that?
No, we would say, "Well, we should run the ball more anyway."
Yeah, just run it every down.
Probably true.
Yeah, exactly.
Run it every down.
Yeah.
Why you don't have to pay? It's ridiculous that we have to do this for a basketball player that won't shoot a basketball.
It is ridiculous that we have to deal with it. It is totally ridiculous, especially with the report that came out that he'll play for 29 other teams, just not in Philadelphia. And people around people in the Midwest go, "Boy, that place! I'm not even coming close to that joint." If the plane is supposed to stop in Philly, forget it. I'm going to get the one that stops in Detroit first. I'm just... listen, General Knowledge is presented by Testo North America, the choice of HVAC techs who count on having the most accurate, reliable, and high-tech measurement tools in their toolbox. When precision measurements matter, be sure with Testo. So General Knowledge Wednesday. Everybody gets a question correct. Wins a pair of tickets to Fanatic Fan Fest 2021. That's right. And the tickets, listen, they're dwindling. And there are very few chances to get them anymore, so this is a good chance for you. And also, if you get a question correct, you'll qualify for a pair of tickets to see Guns N' Roses at the Hard Rock Live inside the Hard Rock Hotel Casino in Atlantic City, Sunday, September 12th, and you'll get a hotel room for the night. It's the closest you'll ever see in a club-sized venue.
That's a good deal right there.
They're usually, arena rock. Tickets for the September 12th show are now on sale. Your info is at hardrockhotelatlanticcity.com. Yeah, listen, Appetite Destruction is one of the greatest albums ever. I will.
That is absolutely true.
Yeah, I will give you that.
Use Your Illusions, both of them.
Yeah. I feel like
fantastic.
If you like rock, you like Guns N' Roses.
The only rock band I think my dad really liked.
Stevie J liked the Guns? Really?
When they were on TV a lot, my dad would be flipping the channel and then would always stop. This white guy can sing. Yeah, he liked Axl Rose. He liked Guns N' Roses. It was weird.
Oh, that's weird. That is weird.
You should take him to the show.
Where? Atlantic City?
At Hard Rock, yeah.
Nah.
Axl's in your top 3 front man?
Yeah, he's top 3 for me.
Oh, so I brought up a list of the 25 greatest front men or women of band history in the history.
Yeah.
And can you guess who was not on it? Axl Rose was.
Who was not on
Chris
it?
Cornell was. But Tyrone's favorite was not.
My guy Scott Weiland wasn't on the list.
Scott Weiland wasn't on it?
Well, I mean, it's a fraud list, so.
It was only the top 25.
You could probably put Axl in there. Freddie Mercury's got to be in there.
Yeah, Freddie Mercury's probably number 2.
Mick Jagger has to be in the mix.
Maybe Mick
probably
Jagger's
top 3. I would say maybe top 3. See, you hate Bono, but Bono's close.
Nah.
Yeah, you just don't want it. You don't give it up on Bono. I mean, the guy's a great front man. Whether you like the music or not.
Yeah, just ask him.
Man.
He'll tell you.
I'm not a huge U2 fan, but I can say that he is definitely.
He is.
I mean, he probably is top 10.
He's top 5.
I respect a lot of frontmen. I do. 5. Like I'm much more. I can be convinced about the frontmen.
Yeah.
It's just I can't be convinced about the.
Robert Plant.
I don't know if Chris Cornell belongs as a front man, but he belongs as the greatest rock singer of all time.
He was a good front man, too, though.
Yeah,
Soundgarden especially.
But he wasn't as good as those other dynamic dudes.
And Audio Slave, they did when they were going to Cuba and doing that kind of stuff. I thought that was pretty cool as a front man.
He wasn't the gyration front man. He was solid front man. The other guys had a little more swag to them.
All right.
All right, let's go to Brett in South Philly. Brett, you're on 97.5 Fanatic. Brett.
Good afternoon. Hey, there's two things I agree with Tyrone with on today. The first one is Scott Weiland, definitely in the top 10 frontman of all time.
Top 10? That's
5 times.
Top 10. I guess
he's great.
You can put him top 10. We're talking about top 3 here. He's got him in the top 3.
Well, he's up there. He was phenomenal. The guy, rest in peace. But second thing I agree with him on is I also want to fight Ben Simmons. So maybe we can get together and go against him. But my what I wanted to say is that I usually I'm one of the guys that usually gets mad at the other fans for being a little too hard on guys. But this Ben Simmons stuff is absolutely totally warranted. I mean, if there's ever been a guy that deserved to be booed and get what he deserves from us, Ben Simmons is the one. So, I mean, I have no problem. I think, as far as players wanting to play in Philadelphia, I think anybody can watch him and look at him and realize that the guy's just soft. He's a weak player.
The national people aren't going to pick up on that. We pick up on that, but national people are going to go, "Oh God, Philadelphia did it again to somebody." And that's the thing that galls me most, because he's the linchpin to spread that again.
Yeah, but I think the important thing is the other players, and I think any player can see through that. I don't care what other fans in the country think about us. It's the players that are going to come play here, and I think they can see through that.
I don't think that anybody would not want to come because of him, though. All right, listen, man, let me give you a general knowledge question.
All right.
It's a general knowledge category. What singer often appears with a half white, half black wig and a giant bow tie on her head?
Giant bow tie on her head?
Yeah. Half white, half black wig. Her face is kind of covered.
Oh, Amy Winehouse?
No, she's dead. Amy's dead.
That's a violation.
This singer often appears, I'm saying currently, appears with a half white, half black wig and a giant bow tie on her head. She's a weirdo. No?
She's not a weirdo. She just wants to she wants to stay anonymous.
Yeah. Strange. Sia.
Sia, right?
It's Sia. Yeah.
Sia. Yeah, her that Chandelier song she wrote for Rihanna, and Rihanna said no.
That was dumb.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes and no.
Yeah, it's the shtick is now it's over for me.
I don't think she really set out to be famous. I think she was very happy being a songwriter. She also wrote some songs for Britney Spears that Britney Spears turned down. We found out it wasn't Britney's. Actually, it's Rihanna's team and Britney Spears' team that ended up turning the songs down. And I think she started feeling rejected and was like, well, I have to put these songs out because I think they're good.
Yeah.
And they were.
And then they end up being good and they end up being hits. And now what do you do? Because you know how these creatives are. You're a defender of creatives.
I am, but it's
so she needed an outlet. How's she going to put the song out? But she's shy. So what do? She wants the music out. Rihanna, Britney Spears, etc. Beyonce didn't want them. Adele, a bunch of people turned them down. What do?
You stay off the stage then.
Well, you can't.
Stay off the stage. You wear a face covering?
You have to go perform them.
Who's that country singer
that
who's
girl
got
that you like so much that's all weird? The one with Elon Musk, that's straight up weirdo. She's more weird than human.
She doesn't cover her face.
Man, she covers everything else. She named her kid a non-name. Like, she's super weird. Yeah, like, she's weird.
She's totally weird. Prince was weird.
But how
his name is Symbol.
Well,
what's the difference?
How's Sia different? She's just regular weird, creative weird. She's not weird. Like, your girl's weird. Your girl's weird.
She's
the leather and the bondage and the metal and stuff. She's weird.
You're talking Grimes?
Yeah, Grimes way weirder than Sia.
Grimes talented. I like her.
But that doesn't mean she's not weird.
She doesn't cover her face.
She covers
wear a wig, cover her face. That country dude that does that too, covers his face.
Who?
The Canadian country guy. He wears a fringe mask. He never shows his face. You should know who this guy is.
Who in the world are you talking about?
He's kind of a crossover. I've heard his songs on all too. Orville Peck.
I have no idea who that is.
You don't know who Orville Peck is?
No.
He's a country musician.
No, he's
a Canadian country musician. He wears a fringed mask.
You hear him on the old channel, then he is not a country star.
I'm telling you, he's got a song. It's country. They play it on all because it's kind of cool.
No.
Yeah, get the song out. Orville Peck.
But you can't call him a star.
He's a famous guy.
He's got 300,000 followers on. No.
Yeah, Orville Peck wears a mask. People love him.
And why does he wear the mask?
He was say anonymous.
I think this is his first album.
Yeah, he's new on the scene, but he's well known.
Okay, Wikipedia says country and alternative rock.
There you go.
Yeah, but he's brand new.
I've never heard of him.
Well, we're going to have to play his song that I've heard. I forget what it is.
He has never shown his face publicly, it says.
Yeah. Yeah, he wears a mask and a fringe from the nose down.
Yeah, that's interesting.
All right, let's go to Rob in Margate. Rob, you're on 97.5 Fanatic. Rob.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
What's going on, Rob?
Listen, Mike, I'm a 62-year-old man that was raised in Philadelphia, and I am so tired of this national narrative that the Philadelphia fan is the one to blame for these athletes' failures. I am so tired of that. And the only reason that I called today, because in your opening monologue, you expressed that sentiment exactly, and I felt this for years. The national media takes the easy way out constantly. Here's a player in Simmons that doesn't shoot the basketball, that we have been more than patient with, that we have cheered as if he was a 10-year-old playing YMCA basketball when he took a shot. Yet we are the bad guys.
Yeah, see, no, don't get me wrong. Let me. I want to clear something up. I'm not ripping Chris Broussard. He's just reporting what he's got. I'm blaming the guy who puts that story out there, which is Ben Simmons, that'll play for 29 other teams. That's how much he hates Philadelphia. This guy caused the whole problem, and he's flipping the narrative on us.
Exactly, but it's happened numerous times. Simmons isn't the first athlete that's done that to the Philadelphia fan. And it continues.
Well, who else has done it?
Well,
who else has said Philadelphia's bad? I can't play here.
Well, Wentz in a way did it.
Yeah, Wentz, sort of. Scott Rowland did it.
Scott Rowland definitely did it.
Okay.
Right? So there's been athletes that have done this. But it's more the issue of that I don't think the Philadelphia fan, from both a national perspective and a locals, get the deserved respect that we should. All we're asking a Philadelphia athlete to do is play hard.
Let's just look at Ben Simmons. Let's specifically look at Ben Simmons. What did we unreasonably expect from Ben Simmons?
And I'll tell you something even deeper than that. My wife is in New England, born and raised in New England, unfortunately, and we are big sports fans. And you would think that Ben Simmons stole her lunch over these years. That's what
I'm saying. What did we unreasonably expect from Ben Simmons?
Right.
We asked him to shoot a basketball.
Exactly.
Come on, man. All right, listen, I want to give you a general knowledge question. We're running up against it here. All right, this is the home runs, over 500 home runs. Okay. I gave you, all right, Miguel Cabrera just reached it. Eddie Murray had 504. The next guy has 509. He was on the Miami Marlins, the Florida Marlins team with Darren Dalton that won the World Series, a right-handed swagger hitter. He was from Tampa.
Right-handed. Oh, my God. Was on that team.
He had a swag with his bat. He swagged his bat back and forth.
I don't know.
That's Gary Sheffield.
Yes.
Chef.
I loved Sheffield.
Good hitter. Thrashed at it.
Yeah,
he was in a lot of ways, he was the anti-Alec Boehm.
Yes, because he was violently swinging every time. Wasn't there nothing slap about that?
What Dombrowski had to say about Alec Boehm today?
No.
I'll have to read you the quote because it's the Mike Missinelli scouting report when he first saw Alec Boehm come up.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. It's not his defense they're worried about. It's his offense. Mike Missinelli Show back after this.
The Mike Missinelli Show. 97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, it's the Mike Missinelli Show. And Jason Stark is going to join us at 4 o'clock. So we'll talk some Philly issues with Jason. Let me just read Dombrowski's. They're not going to call up Bohm. They could call up 2 players September. Only 2 now. They used to be able to call more. You're only going to be able to call 2 players. They're not going to call any of their first-round picks up. So that means Bohm's not coming up. So this is what Dombrowski's had to say. We want him to play every day and continue to work on his swing. That's what it really comes down to. The power swing. The whole bit of it. Driving the ball. We've got things we're working on with the swing that we've outlined to him. So we want them to work on those things. And it's better if he does it on a day-in, day-out basis. He's got to continue to work on that. But he's got to hit. His glove is not keeping him from playing here in our minds.
Yeah, I think that when it came down to it, Torreyes, I know you joke about the Brooks Robbins and everything. He was better defensively, and you were losing nothing offensively because Bohm wasn't hitting for power. So then what was the point of playing him? I think it got to that point.
I'm just saying that I said that Bohm could be worked with defensively because I like the way he moves. That he's got. Now, this is a guy that's been in their system, okay?
Yeah.
Now they just come to the revelation that he needs a power swing. Just now they come to the revelation.
Well, it took Dombrowski. The last GM saw the swing and was fine with it. Think about that. Clintack was aware. Clintack and his staff saw that swing and was fine with it. Dombrowski comes in. He didn't get here till...
Meanwhile, some dumbass sports radio host saw it. The baseball people for 3 years didn't see it.
Right. So Dombrowski has to bring in his own people, and then his baseball people finally said, hey, this 6'5" guy, he might want to hit the ball sometimes.
Let me add this here. Veerling.
Mm-hmm. My guy.
Veerling never considered a top prospect. It's reasonable to wonder if he is better use of a roster spot. The Phillies are going to face a string of lefties next week. Veerling could be the center fielder in those games. So let me get this straight. There's no Hoskins. There's Torreyes, Miller, Bonifacio, or Veerling in the lineup every day. And we're going to win something.
Hey, man, because you got the best player in baseball. I know for a fact that Jason Stark at 4 o'clock is going to have some nuggets about Bryce Harper's season that you're going to want to hear.
Listen, Bryce Harper listen, early in the season I said I think he could have an MVP year. Now, that went off the rails a little bit because of his power numbers, but he's an MVP candidate. I don't have a problem with Bryce Harper. I never had a problem with Bryce Harper.
Well, he's carrying them
I got a problem with that lineup they showed up last night. They win the game.
12.
I'm telling you that God is somewhere in the dugout, and I'm willing to accept it. Now, I'm not a highly religious man, but I know God is hanging around here.
Well, speaking of that, since you think we were concerned about if people would be gypped from Charles Barkley tomorrow.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We have some update on Charles will be in tomorrow co-hosting the show. The Phillies changed their game to tomorrow, so a lot of people may have watched on TV may have been deprived of Charles. However, that is not the case, is it, Tyrone?
It is not the case. We'll be on NBC Sports Philadelphia Plus tomorrow.
We'll be on Plus tomorrow.
Live.
Against the Phillies.
Up against the Phillies,
yes.
Side by side.
Yes.
Until the conclusion of the Phillies, and then I'll ask what happens. But either way, it's on Plus. You can watch it live. And
it'll be on radio also.
Always.
And Plus. Always on radio. Also Plus tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, if you, decided you're going to watch the Phillies games completely and not change the channel, the Charles Barkley co-hosting gig will be rerun tomorrow evening by NBC Sports Philly.
Yes, and after Phillies coverage, we will be picked up on Maine. But the point is, watch on Plus. Listen on the radio, first of all. Mm-hmm. Have the radio listen all the time anyway. Even if you got to have the sound down, exactly. You should not watch on TV and not have the radio on. So always have the radio on every day. And in addition to that, though, we will be on Plus.
Yes.
And then, so there's no excuse to miss any of the Charles Barkley program. Mm-hmm. I can't wait for it. And being that Charles Barkley owes me, I wonder if I can collect tomorrow.
You might be able to collect. See, Charles has been ducking. I've been in constant communication with him because I'm trying to put together Brian Westbrook, Charles Barkley little golf situation. And Chuck is not answering.
Interesting.
He's answering everything else except the golf query.
Now, he's been playing golf because he was out there with Bowen.
I don't know why he would be afraid to take on, B. West and such.
Right. And so he's got to pay up. He owes me from old college football bet.
Right. Okay. So I was going to ask, what is this?
No, he's aware that he owes. Because the last time he came on, he admitted it. But
tomorrow, by the way, I'm wearing a special Charles Barkley shirt.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, I'm excited about that.
I don't normally wear T-shirts.
You know?
I will be wearing a T-shirt tomorrow.
Oh, good.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Brian in Ocean. So let's break. Brian, we want to give you a full deuce. So Jason's not going to come up before. So everybody on hold, hang in there. We will get to you quickly. Mike Missinelli Show back after this.
The Mike Missinelli Show. $97.5 The Fanatic.
4 o'clock, Mike Missinelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic. Your Phil's not playing tonight. Storm play tomorrow during the day. And Aaron Nola has a chance to get them a sweep against the lousy team with a lineup that I have just given up trying to analyze. This is why we call in our ace, the man who lives and breathes baseball, has been doing it for many years, sort of way back at the Philadelphia Inquirer with me, and now as the Major League Baseball writer for The Athletic, among other things. Jason Starkey's in the Hall of Fame for it. So the Phillies are 2.5 out of both the wild card and the division, and they have easy teams coming up, but so do the Braves. So I don't know what to say other than, Jason, please make sense of this for me, because I saw yesterday's lineup, and I said, if they win, that means God is somewhere in that dugout.
Mike, the Phillies make no sense. Nothing makes sense. I mean, really. I mean, the Nationals had something to do with this, but this makes no sense.
I don't want to shortchange dudes, right? But, McCutcheon's in the cleanup hole, so they had 2.5 players going for him offensively, in addition to Matt Moore on the hill, and they wound up winning going away 12-6. Can this possibly continue with the Bonifacios and the Torreses and the Veerlings and the Marchands in the lineup every night?
Yeah, let's take a step back and try to put this in perspective, because 7 runs or more, 6 games in a row. They've done it 6 times now in the live ball era, or basically the last 100 years. And the 5 other times, all the games except 2 were played at that Baker Bowl, where the right field fence was 280.5 feet from home plate, and the whole team hit 340 there one year. I'm like, that doesn't count. Mm-hmm. And then just trying to imagine scoring all those runs with this lineup. No Reese, no JT, no DD, Bonifacio in center, Matt Veerling at first base. Never played there in his career before this year. Rafael Marchand. And, I've had a billion retweets of this, but Rafael Marchand has no career minor league homers. Matt Veerling has no career minor league 4-hit games. And then last night, Marchand hits that huge homer. Matt Veerling gets 4 hits. It's just the baseball gods at work, right?
It is truly amazing. Now, listen, the Braves, as you might expect, had to face Urias, Buehler, and Scherzer tonight. So, it's a big difference. I get it. But then the schedules kind of loosen up for the Braves.
Yeah, it gets better, but it's still not as, it's not as easy as the Phillies, not as soft as the Phillies. I went through this with you last week. The Phillies' home series remaining are Rockies, Cubs, Orioles, Pirates, and those 4 teams are 101 games under 500. So line them up.
Yeah,
and the Braves.
Yeah, they have to play the Rockies at home where they're decent.
The
Braves have to go to Colorado, right?
Right. The Braves, they've got the entire NL West on the road in September. They finish with the Dodgers and Scherzer tonight, which you mentioned. Then they go to Coors, where the Rockies somehow or other have the 3rd best home record in baseball. And they come home. Then they have another trip to San Francisco and San Diego, with those teams needing to win. Arizona squeezed into the middle of it, but that's a big difference from what the Phillies have. The Braves do have a homestand of Rockies, Marlins, Nationals, so that's good. And then they finish at home with Phillies and Mets. So it's definitely harder than the Phillies, but the one thing is they do have all their division games at home, and the Phillies have no division games at home in September, which is really strange scheduling.
Yeah, listen, if God is a baseball fan, the Phillies get the wild card with the Giants in a one-game playoff against the Giants. I mean, what theater?
Well, that's the thing is, like, the wild card is back in play.
It is.
15 minutes ago, they were 6 out in the wild card.
Yeah, listen, I don't know what to say. Like it's really remarkable that they can win with a lineup like that, and it is fostered by the fact that they're playing in nationals. But they these strange winning streaks indicate a team that's like bonding together somehow. Is that what it is?
You know, they really have competed. They played hard, and like they refuse to die. They could have died a lot of times. They should have died. They're flawed. They're not as good as some of these teams. But I think I've run this past you. I had a GM say to me one time, he was actually talking about Bobby Abreu, but he said that a team's energy level always reflects the energy level of its best player. And I want you to think about Bryce and how hard he plays. Well, ignore the part where he gets thrown out in the bases every night.
Yeah.
And that guy plays at an incredible energy level, and this team mostly does. Now, they don't always hit. I mean, they've got their issues, but they do play hard.
Yeah, so he's playing as the opposite of Bobby Abreu, basically is what that guy was trying to say. So talk to me about his numbers. These numbers that are mind-boggling with Bryce Harper. I got to be honest with you, he looks like, you know, that Tatis thing's going to get down the wire, but he's got a real shot to be the MVP.
Yeah, I think so, too. You know, it's amazing how much time we spend talking about Tatis and Ohtani and Vlad Jr. and Juan Soto and like 20 other guys. And the hitter who leads the major leagues in OPS is Bryce Harper. And I want to present to you the complete list of Phillies who have led the major leagues in OPS in any season. The entire list is Mike Schmidt, one time in 1981. That's it. Wow. Now, you want to go back to the 30s. I mean, Schmidt, Dick Allen both led the NL. Then before that, those guys, Chuck Klein. But Bryce leads the whole sport. And, you know, I know you asked me, was it like 2 weeks ago, where he stands in the MVP race?
Yep.
I think he's now running second to Tatis. And it could be a close second. I actually talked to an assistant general manager of another National League team yesterday. He could not understand why any team would let Bryce beat them, considering the people who were hitting behind him. I agree.
Yeah. Let me ask you about the Mets situation a little bit, because today it broke the general manager got a DUI and he's not accompanying the team. But the big story was the Baez and Lindor and Pilar situation. I'm curious to get your spin on that whole thing.
No team unravels quite like the Mets. You know, like
it's the truth.
They do it on every level. I've been doing this research for the column I'm working on, and in the division play era, no team has had as bad a month and lost as many games in the standings after starting the month in first place as the Mets. So there's that whole side of it. And then somehow the guys in that clubhouse decided it's the fans' fault. So that's always going to go well. Like, the fans are always right.
Yeah.
You take on the fans are always undefeated. And, you know, like, there may be hundreds of players in the big leagues who may think that. The idea that they would actually do that and then say that and then admit that and then, like, issue these wishy-washy apologies for that, it's just the most Mets thing ever.
Yeah, and the fans didn't buy it when Baez came in to pinch hit the apology. But the capper for this whole thing is that in the celebration where they win the game, Baez loses the earring, and he's got the ground crew scouring the earth for his diamond earring. Is that inappropriate?
That's an old-timer. They even had guys from their front office were out there crawling around trying to
but he wasn't one of them, right? Baez wasn't one. Like Harper, if he lost an earring, that did you wear, he'd be out there looking for it.
Well, it was between games of a doubleheader, but...
Wait, what are you doing between games of doubleheader? Get on your knees and find your own damn earring.
I mean, I know there are a lot of people in New York who were thinking he needed to find a clue before he needed to find his earring.
Yeah, I get it. All right, before I let you go, you follow all sports in Philadelphia, and yesterday this report comes down that Ben Simmons, he does not want the Sixers anymore, and in fact, will not report to camp. Your opinion. Again, it was the fans' fault, by the way. We've been too hard on him.
Yeah, and the team's fault. The general manager's
Yes,
fault.
everybody else's fault. Yes, it was everybody's fault.
Yeah, this is so Ben. Like, it is just so Ben. You have to call his bluff, right?
Well,
you have to call his bluff. I mean, I prefer to trade him.
Yeah,
if not, you call his bluff.
Yeah, you really do. And by the way, he added...
What are his alternatives?
No alternatives. But he said he would play for 29 other teams, not Philadelphia. It's amazing. Jason, we're terrible people here. We're awful people.
You know, it never ends well in this town, does it?
No, it doesn't.
It might be our fault. I don't know.
Yeah. Jason, always a pleasure. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Mike. Thanks.
Jason Stark, brought to us by Everfresh Juices and Juice Drinks. Good juices for good times. Thanks to Jason. Yeah, we're bad. We're bad people, and people, you stay away. Stay away. If you're a tourist, stay away. If you're a player, stay away. It's no good here. I don't know. I got nice trees. I like where I live.
And didn't Ben Simmons say he loved the city?
He did.
He did.
So it was, likes going up the rocky steps.
That kind of was a tell.
I mean, there's a lot.
That was a tell.
There's a lot of stuff in Philadelphia.
Yeah, touristy thing for Ben to say.
It is very touristy.
You live here and that's your favorite thing?
Yeah.
It's like going to the Bean in Chicago.
Yeah, you don't live. Yeah, like I went.
If you live in Chicago,
right, like I went to the Bean in Chicago because I don't live there.
Right, you've never seen it. You got to see it.
There was no one else from Chicago there.
No,
he had nothing else to say, so he had to mix that in. Yeah, that sounds like it's a good thing to say. There's nothing genuine about the dude. He doesn't have a genuine bone.
Well, it was all our fault that he didn't shoot the basketball.
Let's go to Ocean City. Brian, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Brian.
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
What's up, Brian?
Again, I want to talk about the Phillies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm watching the pregame show, and looking at their lineup, 1 through 4, looks all right, knowing that JT's out.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at 5 through 9, Bonifacio hitting 5, and then Verling. Like, when's the last time we've seen Verling play? So obviously I'm saying, okay, we got to play small ball tonight. And then maybe we'll win like a 4-3 game if Moore pitches like 5 innings and then the bullpen can finish the rest. But I see Matt comes out throwing poorly, and I think he throws like 5 or 6 3-ball pitches, and then
yeah, listen, I addressed that lineup yesterday. I said, if they win that game, it's God.
Yeah,
it's God. God had something to do with last night.
In the pregame show, I think Batalico even said, McCutcheon's got to have a big game for them to win.
Right, and he did.
He hit a home run and then hit another RBI in. So he had
he had a big night. I said there were 2.5 players and 2.5 hitters in the lineup. He was the half, and he performed.
Yeah, exactly. What do you think they should do in Moore's spot? Do you think they should just run a bullpen game, or if they have days
they got to keep trotting him out there. It's a bullpen game anytime he pitches anyway. So,
I mean, his ERA is almost 7.
You can't burn out your bullpen, so you might as well keep. I don't know what they don't have a solution for the 5th starter. So I couldn't even fathom a guess as to who they can start in games.
Yeah, it's a shame Eflin had to go down.
Because occasionally he'll give you 5 innings, Yeah,
that's what we were hoping for last night, and then obviously it went downward.
Yeah,
so.
I got you. They have no solution. They're going to keep trotting them out there. All right, man, here's your general knowledge question. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
I hear you. General knowledge question is most viewed singers on Wikipedia. Now, I asked this question a little earlier, the top 3. All I'm going to require you to do is get one of the top 3 Wikipedia viewed singers. One is black, one is a female, one is white. Give me one of the top 3. 127 million views, by the way, on Wikipedia for the top one.
Okay.
Now, these obviously have to be intriguing people and people big fans of their music.
You
can't even come up with one? That's a violation. Oh, I got to give it up here. Come on, people. One's the easiest one. Tyrone.
Is Beyonce one?
It's Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson.
Well, I thought it had to be living.
I didn't say living or dying. But the next two are live, living.
Well, who are?
Next two, for second, Lady Gaga.
Oh, okay.
And 3, Eminem.
Really?
Yeah, that's weird to me. I would have never gotten that.
Really?
No, me neither.
Michael Jackson, I thought was the layup.
No, because he's dead. He's been dead a long time. Why are people Wikipedia Michael Jackson?
Because he's still intriguing.
Nah, that's weird.
Justin Bieber? I would think
he's
he would be higher on the list. Yeah.
He's 4.
And why Lady Gaga?
The next guy's dead also. Number 5 is dead.
Who?
There's a movie about him over the last couple of years.
Freddie Mercury?
Correct.
Yeah.
Freddie Mercury. Now, who would be next, Tyrone?
Oh, I got no
Female.
Beyonce. It's got to be.
Aretha Franklin?
Stop Beyonce.
Aretha Franklin?
No.
Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Stop.
What? She's supposed to think she's top 6 of all time?
Listen, I can't tell why people are intrigued by people. People are intrigued by, like, I'm not intrigued at all by Lady Gaga. I wouldn't Wikipedia her, but people are.
Well, good for them. I'm just saying.
Bieber, too. Like, what I care about Bieber? Wikipedia?
Bieber has current hits. I'm just saying that, like, I'm to believe in my heart that Taylor Swift's number 6 all time. Like, that's that style.
You got to believe in your heart because it happens to be a fact.
Well, see, that just
you don't want to believe facts.
That's why I don't rock with Wikipedia like that.
It's got a Nadine in Delaware. Nadine, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, Mike.
What's up,
Tyrone?
Nadine? How you doing?
I'm finding yourself.
Good.
So I want to speak about this Ben Simmons guy.
Yes, ma'am.
I do want to agree with one of the callers, Gary. Everything he said was absolutely correct. All the names, everything.
Yeah.
I had some more things to say, but I talk like a seller, so I'm not even going to go there. But also, I want to talk about the poll. I don't understand how 100% responsibility isn't his. Like, and if you're not going to blame him, how about his camp?
There are a lot of people. Listen, there are Ben people out there that just won't give it up. They're stubborn. It's just like there were Wentz people. You root with it, and you get like to think that Doc Rivers' comment in the end should butthurt a guy to the point where he does this is ridiculous.
Exactly, and that's another thing I was going to say. I don't care what Doc said. I don't care what Joel said. At a point in your time, you have to take responsibility and be like, well, look, that was true.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to agree, even after looking at film and everything. Like, from the time that you came into the league, you totally regressed.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. Like, now it's making me wish that Donovan Mitchell did get the Rookie of the Year, because look how much he has progressed. Like, I just don't understand anything. Put me in a lineup. I want to fight Ben Simmons, too, because I just don't agree. I don't understand nothing about him. And I'm sick of it. It's like ever since he got his contract, because remember, I watched his documentary and how he was, like, so upset about being on the gummy bear diet that he was on, like most college students. But it seems like now that he got that contract, he's hit it's like he's accomplished his whatever he wanted to accomplish. I don't even think a ring even means that much to him, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Who knows what's in that guy's head at this point?
Yeah, and all I know now, regardless if he leaves, regardless if he stays, he's still going to get booed. He's going to get the silly treatment, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, when he comes back in another team's uniform, that will be a night to remember.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Nadine, it's a general knowledge question. You got a chance to get 2 tickets to FanFest, and the category is famous tall people. All right. Who was the tallest United States president? At 6'3" 3/4, we rounded off to 6'4".
Was it Lincoln?
It was Lincoln. Hold on a second. Abraham Lincoln. Most presidents aren't tall. Who would be second? You can remember presidents. They're all like shrimpish.
Trump's decently tall.
He's tall? I don't even consider him a president, though.
Well, he was. So I think he's decently. He's decently
He's not
tall.
on my list.
Like, I don't know his exact height, but he's. I don't think he was a short guy.
All right.
But
What else?
He's
Jerry
6'3".
Yeah, what about Jerry Ford?
Jerry Ford
tall?
Seemed like he would be, but...
Yeah, he would seem like it.
He's way down on the list.
Was JFK over 6 feet?
Yep, 6'1".
Yeah,
Gerald Ford was 6 foot even. Bill Clinton was 6'2".
That's right. Clinton was hefty.
Reagan 6'1".
Thomas Jefferson was 6'2.5".
TJ was?
Yeah, looky there.
I didn't realize he was that tall. I thought all those guys were small
I did
back
too.
in the day.
Yeah, right.
George Bush Sr. was 6'2".
Senior. That's right. He was gangly.
Yeah. I'm surprised he was as tall as he was.
He was a tall first sacker at Yale.
Yeah, but he got in World War II, didn't he get shot down?
Bush Sr.?
Yeah.
But he
was
too tall for the cockpit?
That's what I'm thinking, but maybe...
I think the Admiral was too tall for the cockpit, not George.
Because I always figured that's why they had, like, Tom Cruise and them in Top Gun, because a lot of those pilots really are around that height.
Yeah. Goose was tall.
Only because he's only like 6 foot, but he looked tall.
Tim Robbins was tall.
He did. He was tall.
He had to squeeze into that seat in the back.
Yeah. It says here, but I got to verify that Lyndon Johnson was almost 6'4".
There you go, LBJ. Yeah, he was a big Texan.
Was almost, so he's probably second.
6'5" with the cowboy hat.
Yeah, so he's probably second.
And then Trump is third.
Yeah, Trump is third. That's like Trump was,
Yeah, LBJ. Forgot about him. 610-622-0975. One line is open. You can grab it. General Knowledge Wednesday. Back after this.
The Mike Missinelli Show. $97.5 The Fanatic.
All right, it's 4:30. By the way, there's a postscript on the Baez thing. They never found the diamond earring. And scouring around in the grass, they never found it.
Good.
Why do you not find it? It's got to be there, right?
For where?
It's in the grass. It is?
Yeah.
It's a big diamond. Hard. You think it's a small diamond? He probably flashed a big one.
I don't know, man.
It's a big field.
Yeah, it's a big field. I wouldn't expect to find it.
Well, where was the celebration? Was like just around the front of the mound, wasn't it?
It's all over. These guys are going crazy like they won the World Series because they're a bunch of losers.
All right. Anyway, it's time for an update on our Twitter poll brought to us by Paul B. Moyer and Sons with Jennifer Scorda. Jennifer?
All righty. Philly fans are being blamed once again for the failures of a player who's responsible for Ben Simmons' lack of offensive development. 1% sits at Joel Embiid, 2% Doc Rivers, 3% the fans, 94% Ben Simmons with 2,500 votes.
Yeah, 94%. That's expected, and it's low because it should be 100%. But I get it. People that are fans of a certain player, they want to blame everybody else but the player. I certainly get that.
I know you're about to go to Tim.
Yes.
One response was, well, he's not an offensive player. As if not playing offense is allowed. I'm just.
What is that? You're supposed to be a all-star caliber player.
He's not an offensive player.
You're not Dennis Rodman. You're a guard. Yeah, come on, people. Stop with this now. You're annoying me. Anyway, Eagles got their 53 yesterday, but there's probably going to be some changes here. So to catch up on all that and what's surprised and what may not have surprised, let's go to the man who covers the Eagles for ESPN.com. He's on the Comcast Business Hotline. He's Tim McManus. Hello, Timmy.
What's up, Mike? How are you?
Good. Now, Tim, the roster is obviously going to change, but before it does, when you looked at what they did yesterday, anything surprise you?
I think the one that stands out the most, Mike, is Travis Fulgham getting waived just for the sheer fact that he was the leading receiver for this team last season. But he's had a very strange career to this point. I mean, you see him get released by Detroit, and then he gets released by the Packers. He ends up in Philadelphia. He, takes off like a rocket for 4 weeks, or he's like the most productive wide receiver in football for the stretch of a month. Then he cools off after that, and then has, an unspectacular training camp and ends up getting cut by Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni. So, I mean, that's the one that, jumps out at me the most.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out why that was what it was. Did you notice that he wasn't working that hard in practice? Because that's what they said. They said they saw a fall off.
I mean, it's hard to judge, like he wasn't noticeably lagging or not giving effort at practice. I would say that, the kind of early reputation maybe that he's developed in the league is that he hasn't been as responsive to coaching as he needs to be. and that would help explain this very odd journey that he's been on to this point. And then J.J. Arcega-Whiteside on the other side, he ends up making it. It looks like he was on the outside looking in at the beginning of training camp. Travis Fulgham was working with the first team at the beginning of training camp, but Arcega-Whiteside wasn't spectacular, but he at least showed some things to them, particularly on special teams, that made them think like, okay, if we're talking bottom of the roster guys, Arcega-Whiteside is going to do, what we're asking, and he's going to contribute on special teams. How's that going to contrast with Fulgham? And they ultimately decided to go in one clear direction there.
All right, then obviously they'll be picking up some released players that are better than they think the ones they have, and they look like they left a couple of areas thin, especially running back. So what do you hear and what do you see them doing here?
Yeah, I mean, they don't necessarily need to make a move there, but it's going to be kind of, scanning the landscape and seeing what kind of value presents itself. So that they're in a position where they're sixth on the waiver wire, which gives them a pretty high priority there, where if somebody shakes loose to their liking, they'll pounce. They couldn't really do it today, even though the waiver process started today, because they needed to get to 4 o'clock, the technical thing. They needed to get to 4 o'clock. That's when they can put their guys on IR, and they got to put Tyree Jackson on IR first before then making a move like this. So yeah, I think that move still could be coming here, and it's really going to depend on Jordan Howard's on the practice squad, so they could always pull him up in a pinch. But yes, if value presents itself, I could see them going in that direction, whether it's at wide receiver, if somebody along the defensive front pops in. I mean, there's a number of different directions they can go depending on who shakes loose.
So Jordan Howard, as a vested veteran, couldn't be put on waivers, right? So they had that kind of protection with him, and they can bring him back?
No, so he doesn't go through the waiver process as a vested veteran, but he does go onto the market. And so anybody would be able to grab him, but that wasn't the case. And then so he ends up back on the practice squad.
So they did put him on practice squad. Okay.
And they got Huntley there too. So so they're in decent shape at running back. It's not like they're in a pinch anyway.
All right. The draft picks made the team, except for one. It was banged up a little bit, a kid from LSU. What does that say to you? That all of them made it?
Yeah, I mean, it tells me that they have an eye towards the future for sure. I mean, they're doing this balancing act, right, where they're in this transition period, as they've called it, but also are trying to stay competitive, and it's walking that fine line. And there's some moves like the Ryan Kerrigan move, as an example, that is evidence that they're not just going into full youth movement mode, that they are trying to capitalize and win this division, but also simultaneously, all right, let's keep a broader perspective here. And so when you acquire all those picks, you want to hold on to as many as possible. And Jacoby Stevens, the one guy that doesn't make it, but like you said, it's because he was hurt, and and he's still with the team on the practice squad as well. And so they have everybody, I guess, on the 70-man roster, and it kind of shows you where their mentality is right now.
All right, tight end. They kept Stahl. Does that mean, and there are two guys, I guess, are still in danger of being traded, and that's Ertz and Dillard, but what do you say about the tight end situation?
Yeah, well, Ertz spoke today. That was a signal, and other signals behind the scenes suggest that there's been a little bit of a shift there, where there's definitely active conversations going on about trading Zach Ertz. There was at least once, and probably more, where it seemed like it was close to getting done, that they were kind of down the line on a trade. But ultimately, Howie Roseman decided that what was being offered just didn't reflect Ertz's value, and so they started to hold on to him. And in the meanwhile, he is becoming a favorite target of Jalen Hurts, and from my understanding, has become a favorite of Coach Nick Sirianni, who views him as a valuable part of the offense at this point. And so there's been a wind change there, Mike, to where it looks like Ertz is going to stay on this roster. And so he and Dallas Goedert, very interesting situation. Both of those guys in the final year of their contracts, and how that's going to play out and how that dynamic is going to be between the two of them is going to be really interesting. So, but both of them, it looks like they're going to stick on the team at this point against all odds. And then you have Jack Stoll ends up making it, undrafted rookie who impressed them both as a pass catcher and as a blocker, so he sticks. And then you got Tyree Jackson, who's going to be put on IR, and will not be part of the immediate plans anyway. But they certainly like the way that he has developed for them in very short order, former quarterback, and so they kind of like their tight end picture right now.
I don't know what's going to shake out over the next couple weeks as far as first string goes in that opening game, but the defensive end position with Sweat and Barnett, how do you see that shaking out?
I mean, I think it's going to be somewhat similar to the way that Jim Schwartz deployed his defensive linemen, where they're going to be rotating pretty heavily. So, who is actually, quote unquote, starting the game might not be relevant when we're talking about how snaps are distributed. I think that, Barnett brings something to the table, and so does Sweat. And I think both of those guys end up being contributors. But, and when you're talking about guys who are surging, I mean, Sweat is it. Like, there are guys on this team that believe that he's on the cusp of having, one of the best years of anybody on that roster. People talking about double-digit sacks for him. And meanwhile, Barnett's dealing with the shoulder injury again. He's in the last year of his deal as well. And it's possible that Sweat overtakes him. I mean, that's the kind of vibe that's been going on this summer. And if he continues that, he's got a real chance of overtaking Barnett as that number one DN opposite Brandon Graham.
All right, Timmy, last question for you. ESPN came out with this list that we were talking about the other day, and I know you were part of it. The top 100 ranked players. No Eagles in the top 100.
Right. Yeah. Recency bias probably at play here, Mike, which is which is natural, I think. But there was 50 different quote unquote experts of us that were kind of doing this voting process, and the way that it all shook out at the end, there were no Eagles on that. What does that say to me? I mean, number one, when you have as dismal of a year as the Eagles had last year, it's going to kind of skew people's opinions of the individual players on there. So, and all those guys essentially had down years or were injured. And the second part is age. I mean, when you talk about some of the staples on this team, whether it's Jason Kelsey or Lane Johnson or Brandon Brooks or Fletcher Cox or Brandon Graham or Darius Slay, they're all 30 and up.
Uh-huh.
So when you're talking about like who's the top 100 right now, that's in people's minds, I think, too. And so you're in this roster is really weird, right? You've got these gaps of like offensive and defensive line in particular, where it's all these older guys, and then skill position groups like wide receiver, and at quarterback, where it's all these younger guys, and there's kind of no middle ground in between. So I think it is, in some ways, totally recency bias. I don't think if you pulled the GMs around the league that they would say that there's not a top 100 player on this roster, but also speaks to kind of the limbo state that they're in, or that like tweener state that they're in, where you got the old and the young mixed up and not much in between.
Yeah, and I know your job is not to be provincial, but in your mind, did any Eagles get hosed here for a top 100?
Yeah, I mean, Fletcher Cox is a top 100 player. I don't know, he's coming off of a top 100 season, but that's a different question. So I think that he deserves to be on it, and I think that Lane Johnson is a top 100 player as well. But he was hurt too. And Jason Kelsey, I think, is just kind of like annually underrated when you consider that he hasn't missed a game in 6 seasons, and has quietly put together a Hall of Fame career, and it continues to play at a high level. I think that Kelsey deserved to be on there as well.
All right, gotcha. Any feelings on Ben Simmons?
Oh, God. This idea that, that he wasn't, or he's only been given like half commitment by the city or the organization. I haven't seen this fan base bend over backwards more for a player or a team in my whole life. I swear to God, like the whole process, like they wrote it out for like almost, it's almost a decade. And then they're giving him standing ovations and cheers of support when he was in down moments. Like I've never seen that, Mike, in my lifetime. So he's like among the most frustrating guys ever that I've ever had to watch. And I think everybody obviously is ready for that split.
See, didn't that feel good to get that out? It didn't feel good. You know, it's like the old days of sports talk radio, Timmy. Get it out there.
Thank you for that. Much. I needed to vent a little bit.
All right, man. Thank you. We'll talk to you.
All right, man. Take care.
Ken McManus on the Comcast Business Hotline. It seems like everybody has the same reaction. It's like, oh, God. You know, it's an oh, God reaction. What? Seriously? This is the city's fault? It's the coach's fault? It's the fans' fault? It's everybody else's fault?
Can't believe Doc Rivers said, I don't know. That clearly shows that he hates me, and now I must leave.
Oh, let's take a quick break. We're back after this.
The Mike Missinelli Show. .97.5 The Fanatic.
.446. Mike Missinelli Show. Is it raining yet?
Hell yeah.
Is it raining? No, it's drenching.
It's raining hard.
Drenching out there?
Yeah.
It's gross out.
Yeah?
People be careful.
Yeah, be careful.
We got to be careful when we get up out of here.
Yeah, it's like really scary. Not good.
You know what we should do a little later in the show? At 5 o'clock hour, we should play Orville Peck for Jen. Since she's a country fan, she's never heard The Masked Man.
Yeah, but like...
Dead of Night is the song.
Okay.
Dead of Night.
I mean, I'll listen with an open...
Is his big song. He's got a great voice, the guy. I just wonder why he's got the mask and the hat, the cowboy hat and the mask on.
So that bothers you. But Grimes doesn't bother you.
No, Grimes doesn't wear masks.
She's got metal coming out her back and being held up by her skin and stuff, man.
She's just weird. She doesn't have a mask.
So
a lot of singers are weird.
You don't find it odd in your own mind, Mike. That mask to you goes weird, but any other oddness and weirdness is fine. But a mask, and you go, oh my goodness.
Well, the mask is hiding your face from the public. There's nothing stranger than that. It's like
that's not strange. That's
you
smart.
can wear weird clothes and you can have, have different stuff in your hair and jewelry, whatever, and nose rings, whatever. You still have your face out there. What's the point of a mask?
Because that guy can now go to the mall. And
without a mask on.
Right, and no one knows.
Then what's the point of getting into business and selling records?
Because he probably likes to do the music, but might have some certain amount of social anxiety.
Do the music at the church. Don't get a recording contract.
Because you got to make a living.
Well, you make a living, then you show your face.
I bet you he wrote some songs for somebody, probably Keith Urban.
But you want to both
Urban
ways?
Said no.
You want to make money and be a star, but you don't want to show your face?
To me, that doesn't bother me. Compared to Grimes.
There's two people in the history have done it. See it and this dude. And it's normal?
Grimes is a super weirdo.
Yeah,
Married to a super weirdo.
I understand you hate Grimes. You hate Elon Musk. I get it. You made that point abundantly clear.
No,
she puts her face out there.
Yeah, but she also puts weird stuff out there. She puts a lot of weird stuff out there.
Just play Grimes, Kill V Mame.
No.
Kill V Mame.
Well, I don't have it ready. We'll
play Dead of Night. Orville Peck, Dead of Night.
Over Redenbacher.
Do you know where he was born? Like specifically, not. I mean, not just
where
Canada.
He was born?
Yeah,
he's Canadian. I don't know where was he born in Canada.
I think just looking, I think that he's gone so far as to say like not where he is like really from. Like tried to erase like where he's from.
It says this is from Canada. He's a country musician based in Canada. He wears a fringe mask, never shown his face publicly.
And I'm saying he's trying to be so Canadian, anonymous that
he was born somewhere in the southern hemisphere.
Right.
See, he's a weirdo. He won't even say where he's from. He's the son of a sound engineer. He wants to voiceover work for cartoons and other media. Growing up, he trained in ballet for 12 years and performed in musical theater. I don't know. He went into country music. He moved to London in his mid-20s.
He's not country.
That's how you know it's a fraud.
He's country.
How's he allowed to be country? He's Canadian, and he's allowed to be country and all over the world?
He's a country artist.
He's not country. He's not.
Just because you don't know him, Miss Country, we're going to play Dead at Night. All right, let's go to Fred in West Philly. Fred, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Fred.
Yeah. So country music stars come from everywhere these days, don't they?
There you go.
Yeah. There's even some guys that sound a lot like rappers. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's country, right?
Yeah, he's country, Orville, That's one for me.
So for my money, it's Chris Cornell in terms of lead frontmen that are just, two big bands. He had a long career with a lot of songs. I'm a Chris Cornell.
The best rock singer ever, not the best frontman.
Well, he gets points for the music, though.
Of course he does. That's why I say he's the best rock singer ever. That's points, isn't it?
I can't believe Howard didn't make the team because I would want at least one blocking running back and one guy.
He's on the practice squad. Made practice squad. They can always activate him from the practice squad.
Yeah, but I want him blocking for my young QB now. That's just me. For my money, Shake Milton is your starting point guard if Ben's not here, because they've invested a lot in him. He does a lot of the things Ben could do, and he's a better perimeter defender. If you're going to give up Ben, you're giving up your defense. So, that debate about Shake and Maxey, I still think it's Shake Milton, and I think that they tried that out early on. That's just
Guess what? Neither of them's the solution.
Well, if you trade away Ben Simmons, you create a problem. That's for sure. And no matter who you get, let's just say you go out and get Dame Dollar, you're still not a championship team, right? And I think you disturb the team's continuity. So, yeah, I'm a Ben defender. I tend to think he will do exactly what Drew Holiday did, what Iguodala did. He'll go somewhere else, he'll develop, and then he'll win championships. And nobody will think, hey, we chased him out of town. I want us to realize that the dunk is a shot.
What?
A layup is a shot.
What?
No, real fast. I'm sorry, Mike. You said that he'll do like Iguodala did. When Iguodala left, what team did he go to?
He went to Denver.
And then he went to where?
Then he went to Golden State.
And then who was playing with him in Golden State?
Well, he had...
No. You'll get your whole time. I'm saying, who was he playing with in Golden State?
He went out and he played with...
Steph and Clay. Right. And Drew Holiday went where when he left here?
He went to New Orleans.
And did he win a championship with New Orleans?
Right.
And then he went and played with Giannis. And then he went and played with Giannis and then won, right? Right. So you're saying that Ben Simmons is going to be the number 3 guy on a championship team or the number 1 guy? Because that's a difference.
He intended to be the number 1 guy here.
Yes, he was.
The number 1 guy is Embiid. Embiid is number 1.
He was supposed to be the guy.
What is your point on the overall point on Ben, though?
My point is continuity is the best. My point is continuity at this team, a 49-win team. Continuity.
But Fred, how long do you put up with it? Like you know what's hamstringing the Sixers.
There are only a few teams that win the championship.
But come on, man, they got beat by the Atlanta Hawks.
Let me make this point. And about that, if Green had been playing, they wouldn't have lost a series. That's another discussion.
It doesn't matter. They should have been good enough with Ben, Tobias, and Embiid to beat the Hawks, and they weren't because one of the guys didn't pull his weight.
Well, there was an injury too, and you can't
stop. Injury. 610-632-0975. Mike Missinelli Show back after this.
The Mike Missinelli Show. .97.5 The Fanatic.
5 o'clock hour, the Mike Missinelli Show on a General Knowledge Wednesday. At 5 o'clock hour, brought to us by Guida Door and Window. Their big sales event's been extended through the end of September. You'll get 40% off all windows and doors. Just call 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit GoGuida.com. The last call that we had, he said, well, dunk and a layup counts as a shot too. Are you not getting the point that he did not take a shot over 4 games in the fourth quarter? And that means layups or dunks. He didn't take a shot. Okay? If he was aggressive, like we were talking about, okay, you don't want to take a jump shot? Then go to the hole aggressively. Right? That was the substitution for that. He didn't do that either. So what are we talking about?
It's under my skin, Mike. I didn't mean to do that. It's under my skin. And then the revisionist history is if Iguodala left and then immediately won a title, or Drew Holiday was in New Orleans for 100 years. And then he got with Giannis and they won. And Middleton, he was the number 3 guy on the team. If you're telling me Ben Simmons is eventually going to be the number 3 guy, then why the hell was he the first overall pick and making max money? If he can eventually maybe be the number 3 guy, he was supposed to be better than Embiid. He was supposed to be the guy. He's the one who came out with the damn documentary, not us, not the fans. He came out with a documentary. Number 3 players don't have documentaries.
All right, on other news, baseball news, Bob Boone, former Philly catcher. Yeah, he's one of the best catchers they've had in this organization.
Yeah.
Had been working for the Nationals all these years. He's told the Nationals that he will resign instead of complying to their coronavirus vaccination mandate.
What?
Now, I don't know if his kid is vaccinated. Aaron, the manager of the Yankees, he went through serious health problems to the point where he had to have a pacemaker put in this year. I wonder if the apple has fallen into a different lane than the tree.
Did he play on that vet turf?
Who, Bob Boone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He would rather resign than get the vax.
Well, it could be related to the vet turf. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened. The late Darren Dalton referred to it, talked about it.
What, you mean he's goofy in the head? Is that what you're saying?
Yep, I am.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe he's just anti-vax.
I don't think so. I think that he's probably goofy from the vet turf.
All right, well, let's go back to the phones. Chris in Williamstown. Chris, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Chris.
Mike Smith, always a pleasure.
What's up, Chris?
Jen. Let's put this in context for a minute, Mike. So remember when Sam Hinkie got here, the process, like to think Joel Embiid was the only one gem you got out of your whole tenure, whether it was Michael Carter Williams, whether it was, Alfred Payton, KJ McDaniel, like all these guys that the Sixers had, during the draft years and they're in the process, like to think Joe is the only real gold stud that we got. Let's go back a minute though. So after they got Embiid, do you know who the number one pick, the first round pick they got at number 3 was the following year? Guy by the name of Jahlil Okafor.
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't worth, what he was sold as.
Yeah.
Didn't turn, still in the league, but, so, and then, okay, following year, they got Ben Simmons. Following year after that, it was Markelle Fultz. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah, they've had some bad draft picks. I get it. But they still put together a team that should have contended, had all the guys that carried their weight.
Carried their weight. And you know what? The thing about Ben Simmons that pissed me off the most, and I'm sorry, but I had a bet with Tyrone that he kind of let me off the hook with if Ben Simmons would shoot a shot. And it was strange. For 2 years, he would come out, he would shoot one jump shot. The first 2 games of the year, he would shoot one jump shot. It was evaporated the rest of the year. This guy absolutely annoyed the living heck out of me. From the time he got here, he got injured. Okay, now I got to wait and blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody tried to tell me, be patient. It's going to work out. If Giannis is any indication, he'll get a shot by year 5. Well, year 5 came, he didn't do nothing close to what Giannis is doing. So, in my opinion, all the defense in the world is not going to make up for his lack of scoring points or taking jump shots in critical time or dunks.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
So, you know what? I think you're absolutely right in being mad. No, this is not the fans' fault. You have
or Doc Rivers or Joe the popcorn vendor or anybody else you could think of.
But he has poo-pooed on our heads and told us it was raining for too long, Mike, and we have tolerated for too long. No, I never liked this guy. Get him the heck out of here.
All right, let me give you a general knowledge question, brother.
I have to, but I'll still take one.
Well, you can qualify for the Guns N' Roses concert.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Major League Baseball 500 home run club. Obviously, the top 3 are Bonds, Aaron, Ruth. There are 6 others that have hit 600 or more home runs. Give me 2 of them.
Two
of their first names start with an A.
Oh my God! Now you're really.
This is a violation for you not to get 2 of these guys. Come on.
Yeah, no, because I had Griffey, but I know he's got to be one of the 6. So, and I can't think of the 2A ones. So no, I'm out.
You got one of them, and you gave up. Oh, no. Griffey obviously is one of them. 630.
Mm-hmm.
You got them all, Ty? Yes, I'll give you one hint.
Well, my guy A-Rod.
Yeah, A-Rod is 696. He's the first on the 600 list.
Yeah, Pujols.
That's 2, 677.
We had that one right away. Obviously, Sammy Sosa.
That's correct, 609. I can't believe you said Sosa in front of this other guy, though.
He's about Willie Mays?
Willie Mays.
Willie Mays is the given.
All right, and one more.
Other than Griffey. So A-Rod, Pujols.
A-Rod, Pujols, Mays, Griffey, and next, and then Sosa.
Is it McGuire?
612.
Did McGuire hit 600?
It is not McGuire.
I don't know off the top.
It's a left-handed first baseman who played in Philadelphia.
Oh, Tomey?
That's correct.
Tomey had
612 for Jim Tomey.
Yeah, there was talk now that perhaps there could be no more. There was talk out there that perhaps
no more what? 500 home run dudes?
Yeah, like this could have been the end.
Possible.
I think Harper gets there.
Yeah?
I think he's going to play a long time, and the universal DH is going to help him. And playing in Philadelphia with a no trade,
what's he have now?
Because I'm looking at his age, and how many does Bryce Harper?
You have 300?
Nah, but he's in his 20s still.
That's a big climb.
No, the number, historically, all you need to do, he has 258. All you need to get 500 is get 250 by 30. Usually if you get 250 by 30, you can figure out a way to get there. And he has 258 and he's 28.
Well, we'll see.
So if he only needs 30 a year for 10, I just think he's going to do it. He's 28. He's going to play till he's 40 because of the DH part, because I know the back. I think he's going to get the 500 fairly easily. I don't think he's going to get the 600-700, but I think Harper's going to get the 500 without a lot of struggle.
All right.
I truly do.
Darren is in Norristown. What's up, Darren?
Okay.
You're on, buddy.
All right.
You're on the air right now.
Oh, hey, what's going on, Mike?
What's going on, bro? Good.
Right.
How you doing?
Good. Hey, Tyrone, I have the same argument all the time about that Giroux and Iggy thing. That cracks me up. People always say, I said, please just show me once when somebody has left here and they just won a championship and we've just suffered. Just show me once. But here's my thing. I'm 55, okay? Mm-hmm. So by coming up to 55, the first thing I've always heard was the game is 90% mental. It's always 90% mental. It's from the neck up. So by me always hearing that, I've always, tuned in some somebody's mental.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first saw Ben Simmons in LSU, I liked him. I didn't love him. But then when he didn't want to play that, that extra, try to get in the tournament and everything, I was like, wow, that's kind of different. Nobody, does that. Nobody, misses rec. Everybody wants rec. So that was like, all right. But it still, was in the back of my head.
Yeah.
So fast forward to the All-Star, to the Summer League. Oh, my God. Now, I love him. He's doing everything. This guy's shooting.
Mm-hmm.
He is, passing. This guy, wow, he's going to be that dude.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Fast forward to that exhibition game. When he already had the troubles. He didn't shoot and all this. So then he goes to that exhibition game in his second year, I think, the second or third year. And he doesn't shoot in that exhibition game. And right there, it was like, yo, something's wrong, man. This ain't no, his mechanics is wrong. People are telling this guy to shoot. He's not doing that. That is such a mental block. I don't understand, how did that skip over all these people about this mental, this is something that nobody has never, ever seen. Then you have his enablers will say, oh, you remember Rodman? You remember Rondo? You remember Magic? No, those guys shot the ball. This guy won't shoot. That is a mental block. That's 90% of the game. Mental. He doesn't do it. That's such a scary, but we all enamored by his potential. But that big block, it wasn't even mechanics.
I got you, man. I'm right with you.
You know what I mean?
I'm right with you.
I'm so that's the part I didn't understand about everybody. This is not. We can't.
Yeah, it wasn't me because from the jump I said he doesn't shoot the basketball. He needs to shoot a basketball. People go, no, he doesn't, Mike. He's great. He's doing this now. All right, okay. Now it's come full circle.
Scary.
All right, man, let me give you a general knowledge question.
Go ahead.
Here it is. Most viewed singers on Wikipedia. This is Ty's favorite category. Now, we went down the list. It's Michael Jackson, Lady Gaga, Eminem, Justin Bieber, Freddie Mercury, Taylor Swift. 3 of the next 4 are ladies. Give me one.
Beyonce.
It's not Beyonce.
What?
Sorry. She's not in the next 3 of the women. There are 3, actually, there are a lot more than Beyonce on this list that are more searched than Beyonce.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Billie Eilish?
Nope. Not yet. It's 87 million, 82 million, and tied with 82.
Madonna?
Nope.
So that fraud's not on there neither.
No.
I don't know.
Dead or alive?
Mariah Carey, Celine Dion?
Nope.
Mariah Carey?
Nope.
Dead or alive? Can we ask?
Live. All 3 of them alive.
See, I'm naming the top selling artists.
Adele?
No.
Dang.
Yeah, he's on real.
You're missing an obvious one.
No, we're not.
Yeah, you are.
We named all the top women.
No.
In all-time sales.
You're missing one.
Whitney Houston?
Nope. Well, you don't have to go by sale. These are Wikipedia search.
Well,
so there's something
sales
intriguing.
Usually goes popular.
Yeah, but there's something intriguing about them that make people search.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, J-Lo?
Nope.
Dang.
Here are the 3.
Yeah, go ahead.
Miley Cyrus.
That's weird.
Rihanna.
All right.
Selena Gomez.
I almost
Selena
said
Gomez.
Selena.
Uh-huh.
Gomez. Dang.
I mean,
Miley Cyrus makes sense.
All right.
Let's get David on the cell in here. What's up, David?
Hey, guys.
What's going on, Dave?
Talk from Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like, it's crazy. Like, I was a Ben fan for the longest, and then, that when you catch that ball in the playoffs, like, when has a player ever fell flat on the face in the playoffs repeatedly and then asked for a trade in all season? Well,
Listen, let's go, but let's do this fundamentally, okay? The dude did not take a shot in 4 straight fourth quarters in a playoff series where they got eliminated and passed up a dunk because he was afraid to get fouled. All right, now let's take it from there. All right, now what has happened since then? It somehow has become the city, the coach, and the fans' fault that Ben Simmons doesn't want to be here. Now where does that connect?
Douglas is a egregious lack of accountability. You have to look in the mirror. It's really on.
It's astounding to me that we've gone from point A to Z, and I go, this dude is the guy who did it.
Exactly.
I don't know what else to tell you, man. David, I'm apoplectic.
Me too.
All right, man. You want a general knowledge question?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Famous tall people. All right. This famous tall person, it was the actor who escaped from Shawshank Prison.
Man, I've seen Shawshank like a million times. I can't think of the actor's name.
I can't help you. Okay, he's married. He's married to somebody famous. He's now divorced. Oh, sorry, man.
Mentioned him
talked about it earlier.
Yeah, mentioned him earlier.
Tim Robbins, 6'4" and 3/4.
Yeah, tall guy. I don't think they were technically married. I think they were almost.
Susan Sarandon, they were married?
I don't think so. I think they were living the same as Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, where they were together but not married.
Really?
I think so. I think they had the same kind of life.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, because
her only spouse was Chris Sarandon.
Yeah,
hence her name.
Yeah, yeah, that was weird.
She got children with him.
Yeah. They were together.
Children, Miles Robbins and Jack Henry Robbins.
Yeah, they were together for like 20-some years.
A long time, yeah. They lived on the East Coast, and Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell on the West Coast, and I think they on a talk show, somebody talked about how the counterpart was living like the same relationship on the other coast.
Wow. Whatever works for couples. You know?
Yeah. I don't
whatever works.
Whatever works for you.
Yeah.
Now there's some tax advantages to being married when you got that kind of money.
Yeah.
They gave the IRS probably 20% extra money.
Emergency alert.
Yeah, because of the weather.
That's my phone. Yeah, my dog's going crazy. My
poor
dog in here.
I killed those.
Yeah. All right, there. That's it, Chief. All right. There you go.
Oh, poor Shima. It is pretty nasty outside.
Let's go to Zach in Pottstown. Zach, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Zach.
Hi, long-time caller, first-time listener here.
What's up, Zach?
Is Rutgers and Penn State, are they both covering this weekend?
I love Rutgers in that game.
Too.
14 and a half. It's gone up to 14 and a half. It started lower. The Nittany Lions, I think, are in for a little bit of a problem.
All right.
I like Wisconsin to cover.
All right. Now, Sixers here. I'm over, baby. The coward. I want to talk about the spineless leader, the Mr. $200 million man, Joel Embiid, who wants to run his mouth all the time, but he never shows up when it counts in the playoffs.
No, that's not true. He carried.
It is true,
He
Mike.
carried him in this playoff. Come on.
Mike, 2 years ago, we were up 2-1 against the Toronto Raptors against Kawhi Leonard in Philadelphia. Sunday afternoon, you put a stranglehold, go up 3-1. Mr. Joel Embiid has a bellyache and sits out the game.
Let me get this straight. Today you are picking Joel Embiid as the problem.
Ben's a coward. He's going Tobias Harris. He's spineless.
Okay, what is your problem today with Joel Embiid today?
Because he's never shown up in the
Today, I'm asking you today. Like he's already showed up in the playoffs. Like what today made you go? Unless you're just a general Joel hater.
He's like, Philly fans need to do better. Well, dude,
okay, so that's the owner. So you're angry at what he said. Let's just say that then. Let's say you think he's out of line for saying it. Then we're good.
You know he is.
Okay, no, I don't because he carried him in this playoffs.
Mike, he led the team in turnovers against the Hawks. Against Clint Capella?
Yeah, baby, come on, man. Joel Embiid's play wasn't the problem in the playoffs.
What about when he didn't play when his belly hurt against Kawhi?
Okay, all right, you want to go back in time? You can go back in time. Joel Embiid is not the problem on this particular date.
He's the idiot caller.
September 1st.
He's the idiot caller that Embiid cited in his tweet.
Oh, really?
That was him.
They called him fat?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. So he's an Embiid hater.
Yeah, he's a long time Embiid, which is fine. Okay. I'm saying Embiid was wrong, by the way, what he said, but that particular caller has had an agenda for multiple years.
Yeah, okay. You took this comment to re-slam him. Okay. Justin in Cherry Hill, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Justin.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
What's up, Justin?
Hey, I'm with you and Ty on this, Ben Simmons thing. I'm sick to my stomach on the whole narrative, that Philly fans are too hard on athletes, we run them out of town, all this. Simmons is paid, $30+ million to perform at, high level, and when he doesn't perform to that level, we have every right to let him know about it. The kid couldn't just, keep his mouth shut, right, and wait to be traded. He had to let everybody know that, I want to leave. I'm not coming to training camp. And that, to me, gives other teams, we have no leverage their other teams don't have to give up anything they know now.
Yeah, I think that's overplayed, though. I think that they're going to be fine.
I just, oh, man.
I don't think it defeats the leverage. It's maybe a body blow to it, but it doesn't defeat it.
Right. No, I get what you're saying on that, but I just think now you're going to get a second-tier player. I think instead of Joel Embiid, tweeting out, trolling the fans on how we have to be better, he needs to be tweeting at Dame Lillard.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that he's not doing that, but here's what he did with this today. He is trying to preserve any kind of relationship with Ben Simmons by saying. Fans have to be better, but blah, 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 blah. So he wants it both ways. He knows that it's a stupid thing to do today. Yeah. This is all about Ben Simmons and what he didn't do. And Ben Simmons is the one that caused this problem, no one else.
Right. No, I agree with you there. I just hope it just makes me sick to my stomach. Like I said, I hope he goes to a crap team. He doesn't make the playoffs for the rest of his career. And, he doesn't even deserve to smell a basketball court, let alone...
People are angry out there. I got you. All right, man, let me give you a general knowledge question from the general knowledge category.
All right.
What country has won the most medals in the sport of alpine skiing?
Oh, my God.
Well, you can answer this logically, man. You got to go to Europe, all right? Where they ski mostly?
I'm going to say Switzerland.
You're so close, but incorrect. Austria has won the most medals in the sport of alpine skiing.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And people be careful out there. It's a tornado warning.
Yeah.
Delaware, Montgomery, and Philadelphia.
Yes, take shelter now in a basement, the emergency alert says, or in an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. If you are outside in a mobile home or in a vehicle, make sure you move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris.
Yeah, it's till 5:45, so it shouldn't be too long as far as this particular thing, but we want everybody to be safe, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. All right, Mike Missinelli Show. We'll take a break. We're back after this.
The Mike Missinelli Show. .97.5 The Fanatic. Can I get an encore? Today on The Fanatic.
Brought to you by Philly Pretzel Factory, the official pretzel of the Philly sports fan.
The John Kincaid Show.
Ben Simmons has demanded an exit from the 76ers. Hey, Ben, let me sum it up for you. You are a complete failure. You wouldn't improve. You wouldn't adjust. You're arrogant. You're petulant. And now you're a cowardly runaway.
Anthony Gargano.
And that's what really makes me boiled inside. Oh, these Philadelphia fans, these media members, they're
creating this. It happened with Carson Wentz. It happened with Markelle Fultz. No, it didn't. Like, we are actually letting them off the hook.
The Mike Missinelli Show.
Is there an impetus for us to react a certain way? Like when a guy doesn't take a shot 4 straight fourth quarters and passes up a dunk because he's afraid he can foul. That's my fault. Athletes aren't built for that kind of scrutiny. Are you kidding me?
Listen all day, every day to 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
All right, let's get the final Twitter poll numbers right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Twitter poll been going all day with Ben. It's very one-sided, by the way. I can't imagine anybody would not make this 100%, but the final poll numbers are brought to us by Paul B. Moyer & Sons. If you're looking for a new mower, zero-turn, or other outdoor power equipment, Paul B. Moyer & Sons has it all. Just order online at paulbmoyer.com or call them, and you can pick it up yourself in Doylestown. Jennifer Scordo, final numbers.
All right, we got 3,000 votes, over 3,000 votes. Philly fans are being blamed once again for the failures of a player who is responsible for Ben Simmons' lack of offensive development. We sit at 1% Joel Embiid, 3% Doc Rivers, 4% the fans, and 92% Ben Simmons himself.
4%, huh? Fans?
Yep.
All right.
3,000 people.
Okay. By the way, were you just in the restroom, Joe?
Yes.
I have a confession.
Okay.
So, as you know, our breaks are very short, and so if you have to go to the bathroom, you have to run into the bathroom in the hallway here.
Yes.
And so, as I ran to the bathroom, the men's room was blocked.
Oh, yes, I did see that, right. They had just cleaned the females.
The custodian was in there, and then it was blocked. So I really had to use the restroom.
So you had to run all the way down the hall?
No.
Oh, no.
What'd you do?
The ladies' restroom was beckoning.
No way. Mike, that was you? Wait, I heard somebody come in.
Well, so here, let me explain. So I had the code. I usually there's no one in there.
Mike, you can't do that.
Well, wait a minute. I'm saying, is this a violation? Here's my move. I go in. I know there's somebody. I don't know it's you. But there are 3 stalls there. There are doors. So what's my move at that point?
Go to the far
walk
one.
out, yeah.
Go to the far one.
But if I go to the far one, I might not come back in time.
You'll make it because that break we got the best of.
I heard somebody come in. It's funny because I thought that because I walked by the men's restroom and I thought, oh, man, if that was at the female, because that's happened to me before. If it's at the ladies, I have to run down the hall. And I thought to myself, I wonder if a dude's ever come in here and used the ladies' bathroom when the men's is blocked. And you did, because somebody did come in. I heard I was washing my hands, and it was you.
Well, see, here's the thing. Once I was almost I was already committed, and I didn't even know what to do at that point because the alternative wasn't to go back into the studio and try to ignore it. So I got into the stall, and I had the courtesy of sitting on the
Thanks.
on the toilet.
It literally just cleaned. Like the floor was still wet. It's,
Yeah, but I knew that somebody was in there, and I go, I got to hide out in here until whoever that person is leaves, and it happened to be you.
Well, I'm the only female on this side of the building at this point.
I apologize, and I guess it was a violation. I'm telling you, once I committed to going in there, I go, well, what do I do here? My alternatives are what?
You always, in that scenario.
I'm really unaware of the bathroom down the hall. I've never
So you know where you go to the coffee?
I don't even know where it is.
You know where you get the coffee?
Yeah.
That door is on the left. If you just go to the right.
Go further?
It's right. It's right. But it's like
I'm sorry. I don't know that there's a bathroom there.
Yeah,
That's the other factor in there.
Yeah, it's right there.
So I need to get a little absolution here.
So
I'll never do it again.
No, I'm okay with it. You're totally fine. If you ever have enough time to go all the way onto the other side of the building, those bathrooms are the nicest on the floor.
Are they nice? See, we're on a clock here, man. We can't be fooling around.
Yeah, I get
Sometimes
it.
you come back and,
Yeah, because during COVID, especially still have COVID, but when pre-vaccination, I should say.
Yeah.
If there was somebody in the bathroom, I would then run to the far one because I didn't want to be in the bathroom with somebody else because you can't really social distance.
Yeah, that's true. I've done that before.
Pre-vaccination, that's what I did. Yeah. Now, I got my mask.
Listen, I just
vaccinated.
Make it clear that I didn't approach it like a normal barbarian man that would tinkle on the rim. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Well, you couldn't just put the seat up?
I established the protocol.
Yes.
Well, no, even if you put the seat up, you're tinkling on the rim.
Yeah, you put the seat back down.
I understand. Yeah,
you're good.
But you're still you can't tinkle on the rim.
But you won't.
Yeah, you will. What are you
and
like?
She's going to use a seat cover.
Except Bradley Cooper in
I'm telling
you're
you,
a sniper. Like sometimes
in the daytime, early morning, late night, I'm loose with the aim. But in the middle of the day, I'm Clint Eastwood.
There's always a drip that's going to hit the rim.
I'm telling you, I'm Dirty Harry. Middle of the day. Early at night, I'm not so much.
Josh on 97.5 The Fanatic. Josh.
Jesus. God. I don't even know how to follow that up. What's it called? I think the Eagles should go after Travis Benjamin, the guy that just got cut by the 49ers. He's older, I think he's 31. He played under Shane Steichen for 3 years you're talking about
as a bigger body receiver, yeah.
Yeah. You just get someone in there that he's a veteran.
Yeah, they might do that. I don't know. I think that they have a need for a veteran guy. Like Fulgham would have been that role, but he's gone now. So yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, who's the most veteran guy we have? Ward, I think.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. No, you're right. I like it.
And
I don't know what he's got left, Travis Benjamin. So but I know that they could use a type like that.
Yeah, just someone who can what's his name? Rager and Devonta Smith.
Yeah, now he's not that big. He's not a big body receiver though.
No, he's like 5'10".
Yeah,
he's a better slot.
I would like maybe a bigger body veteran.
Also, can the NFL push the trade deadline back? It is the worst trade deadline. I like how hockey, NBA, they have it in the last quarter of the season where all the teams are making pushes.
But it's illogical to do that because football you have to learn a system. That's why they don't do that.
Mm-hmm. And I just have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, what are your opinions on the actor Christoph Waltz?
The guy that was in the Terrier, he's a great actor, the German actor.
Yeah,
he's a great actor. He doesn't have a long enough body work that I'm that familiar with to put him in the tier one. But he's got a couple Oscars. Yeah, he's a very good actor.
I didn't know if you had been a tier or anything.
Yeah, I didn't even consider him because he's off the radar type of actor.
All right, fair enough.
All right, brother, you want a general knowledge question?
Hit me.
All right, this is famous tall people.
All right,
let's go with this one. Redheaded actress who starred in Thelma and Louise and Beetlejuice. 6 foot tall.
Thelma and Louise is a little before my time, man.
Beetlejuice before your time?
Oh, Beetlejuice came out in 1991.
Yeah, I don't know when it came out.
I know Alec Baldwin's in. I couldn't tell you who.
Well, that's too bad. That's Gina Davis. Leaving her own also. 6 foot.
Yeah, you didn't like Gina Davis, though.
No, I'm not a fan of, as if you're looking at, she's a good actress. But I don't find her that attractive.
See, in her day even?
No.
I always thought she had nice facial features as a tall woman.
She reminds me of Olive Oil from the Popeye cartoons.
She's Mensa too, right?
Yeah, apparently she's very bright.
She's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then she'd be smart.
Dropping the ball for her sister was a joke, though. I hold that against her. I'd have said that in the script, we can't do this.
He holds personal scenes against.
I understand that. I understand that.
What are you doing, letting your sister stop? Drop.
By the way, do you give me any Orville Peck to calm me down for you? Yeah.
Do we have to play it?
You get Orville?
We previewed it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not great, Mike.
I don't think we should play it.
He does have a nice voice, but
he's got a good voice.
He does have a nice voice.
I'm just saying, you're a country girl. You don't know what Orville Peck is. I'm just saying, I'm trying to familiarize me here with
that. Is not country.
We were playing
Canadian country.
I was playing in here to make sure there was no profanity.
Yeah.
And
all right. Okay. I don't care one way or the other. I'm just saying. Miss Country over here didn't know Orville Peck.
Because it's not country.
Grady in Mount Airy, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. Grady.
Hey, Mike. Hey, how you doing?
What's going on, Grady? How you doing?
Man, I'm trying to hang in there with all this drama going on with our squad.
Uh-huh.
I just think it's a generational thing. It's a new era where negativity just stands out more than the positivity. It's like, you got fans that's been backing him, that's having his back, and it's like you can't even focus on that. We had a player back in 2000 where the coach said, it's either him or me. The coach said, get him out of here. What did the player do? He said, no, I don't want to go anywhere. I'll do anything. I'll do whatever it takes to stay on his team. And this guy just doesn't have that kind of mentality where, you know, it's like, I can make whatever move I want. I don't have to be somewhere where I'm not loved or I don't feel the love.
There's a difference, and I've tried to explain this before. When you're raised as a prince, you don't have any culpability for anything because you're the prince. AI wasn't raised as a prince. AI went to school Hard Knocks.
How about that?
It's different. That? You're raised as a prince. It was never your fault.
I mean, the guy didn't even, he should have just said, listen, I know what I did. I know I didn't shoot the ball. I know part of it was on me. But no, what does he do? He says, you know, what the good things that he did do. It's ridiculous. It's like, listen, I know what I did. I know what I didn't do. I know what I got to work on. And trust me, I'm going to get better. He's going to blame. I understand when the coach.
That's all he had to say, by the way. What you just said was all he had to say.
Right.
I'll give him to get better. You know, that's all. And then call it a day.
Exactly. And then he wouldn't even have to worry about, you know, the fans or whoever, the media, whoever. I mean, why even worry about that? Worry about your game. Worry about how we lost. Worry about how you can get better. I mean, what does the fans got to do with it? I mean, like every market, especially the major markets, you're going to have the fans that invest.
Horrible place to play, man. This is a horrible place to play with a horrible coach. It's horrible. It's at the gates of hell.
Oh my God! I mean, the guy's making 100 and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Why?
Yeah, I got you.
It's crazy.
I got you. Final general knowledge question. All right, you ready for this?
Let's go.
All right. What city gave birth to Starbucks and Amazon?
Seattle.
That's correct. Seattle.
Now,
that's correct.
Let me ask you this then, based on that. Mm-hmm. I went to the original Starbucks.
Where, in Seattle?
Yeah.
Did you? At the Pike's Place Market?
Yeah, when I was in Seattle, I went to the first two. I found out when the second one was.
Pike Place Market,
Yeah, I went to both of them. But I don't drink coffee. So I ordered it was some iced tea.
Yeah.
Is that a violation to go to the original Starbucks and not drink coffee?
If you don't drink coffee, it's not. You want to go to the place, you don't drink coffee. No, it's not a violation.
Now, there were more people lined up to take pictures. I thought there was a long line, but it turned out most of the people were taking selfies in front of it. They weren't actually in line to go inside of the place.
Really?
Because I guess everybody wanted to say, hey, I'm at the original Starbucks.
I would go and get a cup of coffee.
Yeah, because you're a coffee.
I will take the picture and get the
all right, now real fast. I know we're about to break. Mm-hmm. You mentioned, I was asking you when we walked down the hall yesterday about coffee, and you said Starbucks solid, Dunkin' Donuts not as much, in your opinion.
Right.
Jen, you're a coffee person.
Yes.
Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, are they close to the same level?
To me, yes.
No, not even close. Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, Americano coffee. It's weaker.
See?
It's a weaker roast.
This is what he says.
It is. It's a weaker roast than Starbucks.
It is a weaker roast, definitely, but I like them both.
It's Americano coffee. Because people, coffee, not coffee connoisseurs. You get the Starbucks. I mean, the Dunkin'.
Okay. There you go.
Plus, they load it up with cream. If you ask for cream, you get cream with a little touch of coffee.
You got to say light. You got to say light cream. And if you aren't sugar, you got to say light sugar.
By the way, you're at the Pike Place Market. Did you catch fish? Did you catch the fish?
No, I went to the place where they were doing it, but I
didn't do it?
Nah.
Oh, I caught a carp.
No, I didn't.
Is there a line for that, or do you have to get like a
you just hang around, and the fishmongers go, hey, I gotta go. And they're yelling the fish, and they go, if you're willing, they got the fish, and they throw it at you. You can grab it.
And then you're all messy the rest of the day.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I went all through all that whole area, and I liked Seattle a lot. But
it's a cool market.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
All right, we'll take a break. On the other side, sound off.
The Mike Missinelli Show. 97.5 The Fanatic. It's time for you to sound off. Sound off.
You got a beef with me. What in the hell are you doing?
You got a beef? It's time for you to sound off.
Oh, man, that's irritating.
You don't feel this energy that's going down right now. Number 5 will always love you.
Your chance to tell Mikey Miss what you're fired up about today.
Brought to you by DryTech Waterproofing Solutions. DryTech Waterproofing Solutions is the leader in basement waterproofing. For water in your basement, cracks in your foundation, or mold remediation, trust only the experts at DryTech Waterproofing Solutions. Protect your home. Go to drytechcorp.com.
Sound off.
Oh, I miss Flavor Flav, man. I miss him.
That was great.
Yeah, Flav. I was thinking about him the other day, as a matter of fact. I listened to Public Enemy. Flav barking it out. Sound off, 610-632-0975. That's how you climb into the show. You got something to say, hit us up, and we'll play it. This is Ben Simmons' edition of the Sound Off.
Yo, we don't agree on much in this world nowadays, but I think there's one thing we don't agree on. Mike KOP is the worst caller in the history of sports talk radio, especially in Philadelphia. Can we just, blacklist him throughout everywhere in the city and not have him on the airwaves?
Oh, I missed who he was talking about.
Mike and King of Prussia is one of the big...
Mike and King of Prussia?
Yeah, he doesn't like him. I love caller on caller crime. I think this is related to him defending Ben Simmons.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to apologize to Ben Simmons on behalf of the entire Philadelphia fan population. We were rude to him, and that wasn't fair. And congratulations to the national media for being once again so smart about the city of Philadelphia and knowing everything that goes on, even though they're never here.
I'm a fan of sarcasm, so I give that call a thumbs up. I like it. Nice job.
Yeah, Mikey missed. Here's my problem with Ben Simmons. Doesn't this guy have any self-respect that other coaches in the league are fouling him in order to win basketball games? Now, wouldn't that generate something deep inside you to go out and make sure you can shoot foul shots instead of making excuses after a ridiculous playoff series that he had?
You are so right. But it points out the total lack of self-awareness. There's that. There's even before that. It's NBA player on NBA player crime where the Celtics were calling the guy who wouldn't shoot on their own team Ben Simmons. And he knew it. Nothing gets in. Nothing gets home to the guy.
Yeah, Ben Simmons basically pulled the New York Mets on the fans with the, almost like a thumbs down gesture like Javi Baez and some of the other players did. So, not surprising.
Yeah, but he didn't really do it to the fans, you see. The national media is the ones that are probably going to do it to the fans. Ben said the Doc Rivers thing, what he say, he couldn't recover from what Doc said about him. And so when they had the meet, when Doc goes out there, Josh Harris, I wonder if Josh Harris said in that meeting. You think he said anything in that meeting? Josh?
I don't have it on the board.
Yeah.
Probably said something about wanting to get out of the building.
Yeah.
I don't have it on the board.
Michael Missinelli, how dare you doubt my Phillies lineup? I must now banish you to the Dominican Republic for 2 to 3 years and seek out the talent that I have created because I only know how long this can last.
Telling you, God's lurking. God could take any form. God could be the Manny Moda stick that, or the pine tar. It could be in many forms, but he's there, Tyrone. Trust me.
Na, 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 na. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. Get lost, Ben Simmons. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, and go miss clutch shots somewhere else.
And miss clutch shots? Or don't miss clutch shots?
Go miss clutch shots.
Really? There was one word that was wrong in there. Shot.
Well, that's very mean of you, Mike. How dare you point out that the man doesn't shoot? That's very mean.
Don't miss shots elsewhere. You can get a shot first.
Top of the fifth inning, Harper, McCutchen, Bonifacio, Torres. Corbin threw one pitch over the plate out of 15. 14 balls out of the strike zone and one in the strike zone. And the Phillies, the fundamentally sound team that they are, leave the bases loaded.
Dude, they scored 12 runs last night with that lineup and that pitcher. And they wound up winning the game. Come on, brother. At least wait until the game's over before you call. Let's close it down.
the best of the best today of Sound Off.
Brought to you by DryTech Waterproofing Solutions. DryTech Waterproofing Solutions is the leader in basement waterproofing. For water in your basement, cracks in your foundation, or mold remediation, trust only the experts at DryTech Waterproofing Solutions. Protect your home. Go to drytechcorp.com.
Got a beef?
I don't like them. Because I don't like them.
Then bring it. Leave it at 610-771-9705. And listen tomorrow at 5:45 to see if your Sound Off gets on.
Good riddance. See you later. All right, that was Sound Off. And that brings us to the conclusion of a fine show. Thank you, everybody, for participating and listening and calling and all that kind of stuff. Charles Barkley, the annual co-hosting Charles Barkley show tomorrow. Do not miss it. It's going to be on TV on NBC Sports Philly Plus, and the game will be on, so you can see both, and it'll also be replayed. But listen to it on the radio, 97.5 The Fanatic. Stay tuned. Devon Gibbons is coming your way, and on TV, it's Down the Line with Charlie and Bo. Winner of the Guns N' Roses tickets. Congratulations, Nadine Ford. Everybody have a great rest of the night. Be safe out there. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Looking for the perfect gift for your mom, your spouse, your kids, or even your BFF? Must-haves and funfinds.com has you covered. Our team is crafting lists of ideas to make every gift you give extra special. Must-haves and funfinds.com.